The play's the thing. Act 1. As the curtain rises, a distant orchestra is heard playing Leoncavallo's Mattinata. The stage is almost dark. The only light comes through two large French windows at the back. Through them, we see the moonlit Mediterranean far below the vague outlines of the precipitous coast, twinkling lights along quays and esplanades, and here and there the faint glow from some lighted window. A lighthouse blinks intermittently in the far distance. Within the dark room, three darker shadows loom against the moonlit windows. The lighted ends of three cigarettes prick the blackness. There is a long pause. It is almost embarrassingly long, just before one wonders if anything is ever going to happen. A man's voice breaks the silence. The man's voice. When you stop talking, Sandor, for 60 consecutive seconds, there's something wrong. One of the shadowy forms is seen to rise and cross to the right wall. We hear the click of an electric switch, and instantly the stage is flooded PG4 with the warm glow of several electric sconces and candelabra lamps. The light reveals a room beautifully furnished in Italian Renaissance. At the back, one shallow step leads up to a raised portion which runs the whole width of the room. Behind it are the French windows, now closed, with a balcony beyond them. To the right, a short flight of steps leads to a landing and a door to a bedroom suite. To the left, one step leads up to a door to the hall, and the remainder of the castle, occupying the right wall of the lower portion of the room, is a great fireplace with a corbelled chimney. A long table stands near it. At the left is a grand piano. Below the piano, in the left wall, is a door to another bedroom. All these doors are closed above the piano. Toward the center is a small stand with a telephone on it. There are comfortable chairs here and there. The ceiling is beamed and carved. The whole room reflects wealth and beauty. The speaker, who has just lighted the room, is a large and portly man of middle age. His name is Mansky. He is in a dinner jacket, as are his two companions, Sandor Tirai, seated in the center, and Albert Adam near the piano. Tirai is also middle-aged but younger-looking and less portly. The Mansky, a glance shows him to be a man of consequence and dynamic personality. He is wearing a monocle. Albert, PG5 Adam, is a dreamy, handsome boy just over the threshold of manhood. The distant orchestra has stopped playing. Mansky reseats himself to the right of Tirai and speaks again. What's on your mind, Sandor? Tirai, I was just thinking how extraordinarily difficult it is to begin a play, the eternal problem of how to introduce your principal characters. Adam, I suppose it must be hard. Tirai, it is devilish hard. Up goes the curtain. There is a hush all over the theatre. People come on the stage. Then what, it's an eternity, sometimes as much as a quarter of an hour, before the audience finds out who's who and what they are all up to. Mansky, I never saw such a fellow. Can't you forget the theatre for a single minute? Tirai, no, that's why I am such a great dramatist. Mansky, you can't be happy for half an hour unless you're a talking shop. Life isn't all theatre. Tirai, yes it is if you write plays. You know what Alphonse Daudet says in his memoirs. When he stood by his father's deathbed, all he could think of was what a wonderful scene it would make for the stage. PG6 Mansky, it's silly to let your job become an obsession. Tirai, well, that's the theatre. Either you master it, or it masters you, and of all the brain-racking things in the world, beginning a play is the worst. That's where your technique comes in, my boy. Take this scene here, for instance. We three curtain goes up on three ordinary men in ordinary dinner jackets. How is anybody to know even that this room we're sitting in is a room in a castle? And how are they to know who we are? If this were a play, we would have to start jabbering about a lot of thoroughly uninteresting things until the audience gradually found out who we were. Mansky, well, why not? Tirai, think how much simpler it would be if we were to cut out all that stuff and just introduce ourselves. He rises and addresses the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. We three arrived tonight to spend a couple of weeks at this castle. We've just left the dining room, where we did ourselves remarkably well with some excellent champagne. My name is Sandor Tirai. I am a playwright. I have been a playwright for 30 years. I make a very good thing of it. I bow and step back, leaving the stage to you. Tirai steps back and Mansky steps forward and addresses the audience. PG7 Mansky, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mansky. I too am a playwright, and this gentleman's lifelong collaborator. We are probably the best-known firm in the business. Tirai, come to Mansky, and Tirai, for all comedies, farces, and operettas, satisfaction guaranteed. Mansky, I too make a very good thing out of it. Tirai, which brings us Mansky to the remaining member of the trio. They indicate Adam, who rises and addresses the audience in similar fashion, but with more diffidence and none of their assurance. Adam the last and least I ladies and gentlemen am Albert Adam I am 25 years old, and I compose music. Tirai very good music too. Adam I have done the score for the latest operetta by these two kind gentlemen, my first effort. They discovered me, they got me invited to this castle, regardless of expense. They bought me a complete wardrobe without them. I am a complete nonentity. I have no parents, no reputation and no money. Tirai beautier young. Mansky and gifted. PG 8. Adam and in love with the prima donna. Tirai don't bother to tell them that an audience takes it for granted that the young composer is in love with the prima donna, it's tradition. Adam's thank heaven. Tirai again, addressing the audience, isn't that the simplest way to begin a play? Mansky very crude if that were all there was to it, any fool could write plays. Tirai a great many do, but you see how absurdly easy it is, all you have to do is. Mansky all right, for heaven's sake stop talking sharp, I've had enough, save it for tomorrow. Tirai perhaps you're right, yes, it's a treat to get a couple of hours off for a change, wonderful that trip in the car Italy, and here we are free at last from the stuffy world of behind the scenes, out of the reach of thin-skinned actors and thick-skinned managers. All the year I've looked forward to these 2 weeks, a princely host, and a house full of smart people, just what men like ourselves need to inspire us. And mark this, my friends, nothing to worry about, for our job is done. He goes to the window, opens it, steps on PG9 to the balcony, and speaks from there. The operetta is finished, and off our minds, and moreover, it is summer, the weather is perfect, the night is gorgeous, the sea's the sea, and the dinner was good. He comes back into the room, yes, we must remember it. It's been a great day, August the 20th. Mansky Friday. Tirai what of it? Mansky I wish it wasn't. Tirai don't be such an old woman. Mansky no one ought to arrive anywhere on a Friday. Adam dreamily, what difference does it make? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, spring, summer, autumn, winter, life's always wonderful. Tirai crosses to Adam, my unlucky day is Tuesday, among other things. To Mansky, you were born on a Tuesday. Mansky well, look at it for yourself. Here's today's little bag of bad luck. San Martinarmade violent thunderstorm, followed by blowout, set us back an hour. Firewarly afternoon run over dog, surrounded by angry multitude, had to scatter money to everyone in sight, to keep from getting PG-10 mobbed. More delay, and we reach here at 10 instead of 8 Friday, and when we arrive, who is out? Our princely host, who else? Everybody all gone off on a picnic Friday, and the beautiful, the one and only, the most vitally important member of the whole house party, adorable prima donna. Her, is she also off on a picnic? Is she expected home tonight? No. When is she expected? No one knows. Tirai oh, shall be back. Mansky well, that won't spoil Friday's record, because it's Saturday now. Adam and I've got to wait a whole night before I see her, it's cruel. Mansky just Friday. Tirai well, now listen to me, ill give you my version of the day's proceedings. Friday, San Martinarmade capital luncheon, including some really drinkable coffee during the meal. A few passing drops of rain result, perfect road snow, dust. Firewarly afternoon injured a dog, and for a while it looked as though the populace were about to injure us, but our Friday good luck held. The dog made a miraculous recovery, and when last seen, was sitting up and taking nourishment, and a few insignificant coins, judiciously PG-11 distributed, made the populace our friends for life. To resume, we arrived here some hours late, but what a bit of luck that was everybody away, nobody in the house to expect tired men to make conversation. Furthermore, we dine on a picturesque terrace of a wonderful old Italian castle, and are given as fine a curried chicken as I ever tasted. Mansky I loathe curry. Tirai, and in conclusion, let me tell you the crowning piece of good fortune of this magical Friday. He indicates the door to the bedroom at left. The next room to this is Ilona's. Adam what? Tirai yes, through that door is the room of the beautiful, the one and only, and having a pull with the butler, I managed to get this suite for ourselves. There's luck for you. Mansky for him. Tirai, and for us we profit indirectly. When a composer is happy, he writes song hits. When a prima donna is happy, she stops singing off the key, and the librettists gather royalties from the resulting triumph. Mansky sordid brute, you've no poetry in your soul. PG-12. Tirai, but I have a balance in my bank much more satisfactory, as, for Ilona being away, that's good luck. To think of the pleasant surprise she will get. It is night, the little darling comes home from her picnic. All unsuspecting, she goes to her little room, sinks upon her little bed. Mansky, why on earth must everything always be so little? Tirai, why not? Mansky, damned sentimentalism. I know the house well, she has a huge room, and an enormous bed. Tirai, immaterial, quite immaterial, the point is that she comes home all unsuspecting. She doesn't know we're here. Adam, who has been sitting dreamily at the piano, begins playing softly. She doesn't know we've brought the finished operetta with us. She doesn't know I am going to sing her the waltz song from Act 2. Mansky, God help her. Tirai, the world-famous waltz. Mansky looks at him skeptically. At least it's not world-famous yet. But it's bound to become so anyway, the ravishing theme waltz, upon which this infant genius has poured out all the treasure of his love-witched soul. Adam stops playing. PG-13. Mansky, be quiet, never praise a composer, it unsettles him. Rises, looks at watch. Do you know it's after 3? I have been thinking, and I've got an idea. Tirai, beginner's luck. Mansky, let's go to bed. You can do any singing you want tomorrow, if they're not home, yet it means they're staying out all night. I know the ways of this house, we've been up since 5 and I am, all in 300 miles are chasing themselves through my head. As for your infant genius with the love-witched soul, he's asleep already. Adam, who has been nodding over the piano, awakens with a start. I am not. Tirai, I've no objection to postponing the surprise party. Suppose we wake her with the waltz. Adam, if only she doesn't find out before. Tirai, that's all right. I particularly told my friend the butler that nobody must know of our arrival till tomorrow morning. The butler is a very important man, he practically runs this house. Adam, rising, then I am going to take a bath. Tirai, I don't follow your logic. What has the importance of the butler to do with taking baths? PG-14. Adam, I hate logic. Starts toward the door at right, but stops to gaze out of the window. Tirai, do you really intend to bathe at this hour? Adam, yes. Tirai, in the sea. Adam stands by balcony door. No, in the tub. The sound of a distant orchestra is heard playing Teselli's serenade when you're tired and sleepy, and looking forward to something particularly nice. It's wonderful to lie in lukewarm water with your eyes closed. Tirai, here sits in large armchair. Well, do as you please, infant. When an artist is working, he must pamper himself. To Mansky, you have to humor these composers. Did you ever know his grandmother? Mansky, I had not that pleasure. Tirai, Adam comes down the steps and sits down again. She brought him up when his parents died. She was about so high, the littlest old woman I ever saw in my life. Adam, tiny, wasn't she? Tirai, and the very opposite of this dreamy boy. PG-15, always hustling, always on the go. It's her fault that our young friend here has always remained such an unsophisticated babe. She not only mothered him, smothered him with her love. She was like a little witch in a fairy tale guarding hidden treasure. I'll never forget the day she brought him to me for the first time. Adam, my goodness, I was scared that day. Tirai, so was Roman 1. This little half portion of a woman fixed me with blazing eyes, and fairly hissed, this boy is a genius. You must hear his work pensively. His mother was a gentle, beautiful. Adam, I hardly remember her. Tirai, I can see her very clearly still. He rises and goes to Adam, whom he pats affectionately on the shoulder. Ah, well, you're going to escape the struggles most young artists have before they reach the top. No wasting of time and brain and nerve energy. For you've got a very clever man behind you pushing you on. Music stops. Mansky, significantly, 2 clever men. Tirai, 2 laughs. Ah, yes, of course, 2. To Adam, so run away and have your bath and sleep and dream and love and enjoy this beautiful world. PG-16, and all that there is in it. Happiness will make your music all the sweeter. Mansky, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, encouraging him to be a dreamer. He should be learning by this time that life isn't all music and roses and happiness. Tirai, why be in such a hurry to teach him that? Mansky, I am not in a hurry. Tirai, then why must he be in a hurry to learn it? Adam, who has run up the steps at right, pauses at the door. This is my room, A. Tirai, whose else could it be? Have you forgotten who is sleeping or about to be sleeping on the other side of that wall? He indicates the left wall. Adam, I should say I haven't. Tirai, it's rather a good situation, Loversand, separated by a wall like Pyramus and Thisbe. What is that speech of Pyramus, speaking to the left wall? And thou, O wall, O sweet, O lovely wall. O wicked wall, through whom I see no bliss. Mansky, impatiently, sharp again, always sharp. PG-17. Adam, and what about you two? Tirai, we're all right, our room is on the other side of yours. Adam, are you sharing a room? Tirai, we have to. Real collaborators never separate for a moment, or the most priceless ideas might be lost forever. Besides, I talk in my sleep. I am told that's when I say some of my best things. Mansky is a light sleeper, and he wakes up and jots them down. Mansky rises indignantly. Adam, I think I am going to like this place. Well, gentlemen, before I go, one last word. I am very fond of both of you. I am finding life very beautiful, and I am very happy. Adam goes out once again. The distant orchestra is heard this time playing the Brise Argentine. Tirai, which startling utterance seems to call for a glass of very old brandy. He crosses to the bell rope on left wall and pulls it. Mansky, make it too. Tirai, it's nice to see the boy so happy now. I am on the shady side of 50. I find myself full of parental affection, and nobody to lavish it on reflectively. Yes, his mother was a gentle, beautiful woman. He goes up to window, and PG-18 looks down the cliff. They're still dancing down there on the hotel terrace, with spotlights on the dancers, with that dark blue sky in the background, and the coloured lights on the water that wouldn't make a bad setting for a first act finale. Mansky, who has just taken a cigarette from his case, snaps it shut with irritation. Yes, I am coming to think the boy's right, and life is beautiful. Mansky, Sandor. Tirai, yes. Mansky, I didn't like to tell you before, though it really belongs to Friday too. Tirai, tell me what. Mansky sits on bench with the unconscious relish of the confirmed pessimist. Something rather unpleasant, a little piece of news. Rather unpleasant. The music has stopped. Tirai, who has been at the window, turns toward Mansky. Tirai, you're a queer chap. Just when a man's feeling happy for 5 minutes you have to come along and take the joy out of life. Mansky, it concerns you too, it's rather unpleasant. Tirai, going to Mansky, speaks ironically. PG-19, well, come on, old friend, ruin my evening. What is it? Mansky, I was looking in the visitor's book downstairs, and I saw a certain name. Puffs cigarette. Yes, it's rather unpleasant. Tirai, don't sit there making my flesh creep. What name did you see in the visitor's book? Mansky, Olmudi. Tirai, the actor. Mansky, yes. Tirai, he's here. Mansky, he is. Tirai, Atroman 1000, this is, as you say, rather unpleasant. Mansky, you realize what this means? Tirai, it means that you're thoroughly happy. Mansky, not at all. I may be a pessimist, but unfortunately I am a tender-hearted pessimist. When I am proved right, I do not enjoy the fact. The fact is that Mr. Olmudi is here. Tirai, but how? Why, he hasn't been invited here for 10 years. I always understood. He spent his PG-20 summers with his wife and children at Lake Ballaton. Mansky, I suppose he fished for an invitation. He probably had his reasons. Tirai, does our young friend know anything about that business? Mansky, he hasn't an inkling of the part Mr. Olmudi has played in his fiancée's life. Tirai, well, hang it all, it wasn't so much of a part. What does it amount to? When she was starting on the stage, he gave her lessons in voice production, and then, well, it was just the usual business, the romantic leading actor, and the little pupil, the sort of thing that lasts a couple of months at the outside, and besides it was all over and done with long ago. Mansky, apparently it is not over and done with. Tirai, rot, because by pure chance he happens to be in the same house. Mansky, it isn't pure chance, it's impure intention. Use your intelligence, man. Ilona was Olmudi's discovery, taught her all she knows. Tirai, that's a thing of the past. Ilona's intelligent, she's in love, and she's engaged to be married, and you know how wholeheartedly, how passionately PG-21 an actress can be engaged. When she is engaged to be married, I am bound to say I am not remarkably enthusiastic about this match. But if it makes the boy happy, that's the main thing, my dear chap. You're crazy. She wouldn't be such a fool with a worn-out elderly actor, a father of a family with 4 children. She's got too much sense. Mansky, I never said a word about that. I merely said I had seen his name in the visitor's book. That means he is staying here. Is that pleasant? No, it is unpleasant. That was all I said. I now say something more. We ought to have wired Ilona that we were coming tonight. Tirai, I admit it, you're right again, so be happy. Never surprise a woman, always wire her in plenty of time on several occasions in a longish life. I have prepared a joyful surprise for a woman, and every time I was the one surprised. The telegraph was invented for no other purpose than that women should not get surprises. There is a knock at the door. Left come in a footman, enters from the hall. He is an elderly man in blue livery. What do you want? Footman, what do you want, sir? You rang, sir. Tirai, oh yes, cognac. PG 22. Footman, any particular brand, sir? Tirai, Tamansky, do me a favor, old man, and go up, and keep Albert talking for a few minutes. I want to have a few words with this fellow. Mansky, don't drink both the brandies. Mansky goes out through door at right. Tirai, what's your name? Footman, mine, sir. Tirai, yes, yours. Footman, Johann Dwornicek, sir. Tirai, Johann. Footman, Dwornicek. Tirai, age. Dwornicek, 52, sir. Tirai, born. Dwornicek, yes, sir. Tirai, I should have said, where were you born? Dwornicek, Podmarkli in Tychiko, Slovakia, sir. Tirai, nice place. Dwornicek, no, sir. Tirai, married. PG 23. Dwornicek, yes, sir, thank you, sir. Tirai, wife, living. Dwornicek, well, in a sense she ran away with a soldier 2 years ago, sir, thank you, sir. Tirai, don't thank me, thank the soldier, you're new here, I think. Dwornicek, yes, sir. Tirai, when did you come? Dwornicek, last summer, sir. Tirai, thank you. Dwornicek, thank you, sir. Tirai, no, thank you, you've answered my questions most patiently. Dwornicek, excuse me, sir, would it be taking a liberty if I inquired why? Tirai, why I have asked those questions, not at all, you'll find that out later on, but don't alarm yourself, I am not a detective now, Johann Dwornicek. Here are more questions. That room next door there is Miss Ilona Szabo's. He indicates the door at left to bedroom. Dwornicek, yes, sir. PG 24. Tirai, has she been gone long? Dwornicek, I have not seen her come in, sir. Tirai, did you see her go out? Dwornicek, yes, sir, they left at 6 o'clock this afternoon. Tirai, they who? Dwornicek, the entire house party, sir, including the master, they were going to San Pietro, I think, sir. Tirai, is that far? Dwornicek, the yacht would take them there in about an hour and a half, 26 persons, in all, sir, supper, served on board a nice cold collation, sir. Tirai, when do you expect them back? Dwornicek, well, Sirthi took a considerable quantity of liquor with them. Tirai, the question I asked was when do you expect them back? Dwornicek, that is the question I am answering, sir, hardly before tomorrow morning at the earliest. Tirai, I see who's in the party. PG 25. Dwornicek, the core or centre of it, if I may use the expression, sir. Tirai, certainly, you may use the expression, it's a beautiful expression. Dwornicek, thank you, sir, the core or centre of it is an American family, distant relatives of the master. Every time a holiday comes around they insist on a picnic. Tirai, what holiday is today? Dwornicek, I don't know, sir, they have 2 every week here, they always go off at night in the big yacht. They're quite wild about the young lady. She sings for them on the yacht with the gypsy band. Tirai, oh, they have gypsies too. Dwornicek, yes, sir, 4 pieces from the hotel. But there not much good, no, gypsies not at his best, sir, on the water. Gypsies need solid ground. Tirai, solid groundies, of course, well, passing over the subject of gypsies, for a moment if you don't mind. Dwornicek, oh no, sir. Tirai, well then, lightly passing over the subject of gypsies, do you know a Mr. Olmody? PG 26. Dwornicek, oh yes, indeed, sir, I know Mr. Olmody. I know Mr. Olmody very well, he has been here 3 days. Tirai, here in the castle. Dwornicek, yes, sir, in the old wing facing the park. Tirai, that would be on this floor. Dwornicek, yes, sir, on this floor. Tirai, and has one of the yachting party, you say? Dwornicek, yes, sir, along with the young lady. Tirai, what do you mean along with the young lady? Dwornicek, well, sir, he escorted her to the boat. There you might say sort of partners. Tirai, how partners? Dwornicek, I mean, sir, well, working together like years it were partners. Tirai, I see you mean partners. Dwornicek, yes, sir, partners. Mr. Olmody gives recitations on the boat. Tirai, how do you know that? PG 27. Dwornicek, they took me with them, sir, last Tuesday. Tirai, Tuesday, it would be Tuesday. Dwornicek, yes, sir, Tuesday. Tirai, all right, thank you. Dwarnicek, thank you, sir. Will that be all, sir? Tiarai, yes, that will be all. Dwarnicek, excuse me, sir, but you said that I would find out later on. Tiarai, why I began by asking you all those personal questions. Dwarnicek, exactly, sir. Tiarai, quite simple, it's a little matter of psychology. When you want a man to speak the truth, begin by making him tell you all about himself. It gives him a feeling of responsibility, and makes him afraid to lie later on. That's from a detective play by Mansky and Tiarai. You can take the tip as some slight return for your trouble. Dwarnicek, thank you very much, sir. Tiarai, don't mention it. PG 28. Dwarnicek, and which shall I bring you, sir? Tiarai, which? Dwarnicek, which brand of cognac? Tiarai, which brands have you? Dwarnicek, all the best brands, sir. Hennessy, 3-star, Martel, Biscuit, Dubauch, Riviere, Gardrat. A door is heard to slam somewhere at left. Excuse me, sir. I rather think, if you would be good enough to remain quite quiet for just one moment, I rather fancy. That's the young lady coming back now. They listen from the adjoining room at the left. A soprano voice is heard singing casually, but clearly a well-known aria from an operetta. Yes, sir, that's the young lady, all right. Tiarai, going up toward the door at right. It is it, she's splendid. Then never mind, the cognac champagne is clearly indicated. My favourite brand, Mum's Cordon Rouge. See that it's iced and hurry it along. Look sharp, man. Dwarnicek, you wish it, heresier. Tiarai, going out at right. Of course. Dwarnicek, very good, sir. Exit Dwarnicek. He goes out through the door at left to the hall. The singing grows louder. PG 29. Tiarai's voice in the room at right. Hey, stop that bath. You haven't time for baths now. She's back. Sh, hurry up. Quick, both of you. The voices of Mansky and Adam are also heard. I tell you, she's in her room. Do be quick. I've ordered champagne here. I'll help you dress. The door at the right is closed from the outside. From inside the adjoining room on the left, the singing continues, until interrupted by Almady's voice raised in protest. Almady's voice, what do you mean by this singing? I believe you're doing it just to annoy me. She trills a few notes. You're trying to torture me. Ilona's voice, well, it's pretty cool to come walking into my bedroom at this hour. Almady's voice, I came with you. Ilona's voice, now listen, everything's over and ended. I've put you out of my life. Forever. I'm engaged to be married, and I intend to be a good little wife. You've no right to behave like this. Almady's voice, no right. I who made you, I with whom you have lived so many hours of madness, wonderful, unforgettable. Ilona's voice, not unforgettable at all. Watch how quickly I am going to forget them. Do go away and leave me alone. Don't touch me. A pause. PG 30. Stop. I won't let you kiss me. Can't you understand? My fiancé will be arriving any day now. Almady's voice, I'll kill him. Ilona's voice, yowl, do nothing of the kind. Almady sobs loudly. Oh, stop crying. The idea, grown-up man, the father of a family with 4 children. Almady's voice, but I love you so, Ilona, and you throw me over for another man. Don't you love me still just a little? Ilona's voice, you're nothing but a great big baby. Cheer up, do. That's better. All right then, you may kiss me. A pause while they kiss. What are you doing? Don't take off your coat. Almady's voice, I want to say goodbye. Ilona's voice, well, you don't need to say it in your shirt sleeves. Pause. Now run away and let me get some sleep. I'm worn out. Almady's voice, I'm only waiting till you're in bed. Is there anything to drink here? Ilona's voice, y'all find it in the anteroom. Take the whole bottle if you want to, but go. Pause, shouting, look on the sideboard and stay where you are till I've got my nightie on. Don't. PG 31. Come in and don't look. There is a silence during which the door right is opened, and Tiarai, Adam and Mansky tiptoe in like 3 mischievous boys. They speak in whispers as they cross to the door to Ilona's bedroom. Tiarai, hush, she's gone to bed. Adam, do you think she's asleep already? Tiarai, I doubt it. Come on. Faces to the wall, as close as you can get. They group themselves in a row as near the wall as the furniture will permit. Tiarai whispers, ready now. Ilona, take the time from me, raises his hand like a conductor. At the same moment, Almady's voice is heard. Almady's voice, I worship you, I adore you. The 3 are riveted, where they stand transfixed with amazement. Ilona's voice, are you starting all over again? Almady's voice, yes, I am all over again. I love you, as the church steeple loves the cloud that settles above it, and floats away with the first passing breeze. I can't go on living without you. Not a week, not a day, not an hour. The 3 men turn simultaneously. PG 32. Alona's voice contemptuously, just words. Almighty's voice, it's the truth, I am crazy about you, and yow you've used me up, and squeezed me like a lemon, and now you want to throw me away. Alona's voice, I don't want to throw you away, silly, where's the sense in raving like this? Oh, come on then, come here, and let me kiss your beautiful classic brow. Adam, she said, did you hear what she said? Almighty's voice, that's not a kiss, that's a tip, nothing but a paltry tip. Mansky sinks into chair. Alona's voice, don't shout like that. Almighty's voice, I will shout, I'm a squeezed lemon, that's what I am, sobs a lemon, the whole world shall know that I am a lemon. Alona's voice, get off your knees, and oh please do stop crying, I can't bear it, you know how fond I am of you, Tirai, and Mansky clap their hands to their heads. Adam collapses on the piano stool. Almighty's voice, those nights of love, those flaming wonderful nights, have you forgotten them so completely? PG 33. Adam looking up, that's Almighty. Mansky, you can't be sure. Tirai turns to Mansky, don't be an ass, don't try to deceive a musician about a voice. There's no use talking, thing's a tragedy and we've got to face it. Mansky, Friday. Alona's voice, stop, control yourself. Almighty's voice, you ask me to control myself when I look at that perfect shape, the rose flush of that skin. Alona's voice, hands off. Almighty's voice, my God, how round it is, how smooth, how velvety and how fragrant a pause. Alona's voice, don't bite. Almighty's voice, I am so hungry. Tirai to Adam, and patting him on the shoulder, I think you had better go, old man, go and turn in our room. Adam bitterly, and I thought she was a Madonna, holding her in his arm, stroking, rising in sudden fury, and rushing to the door, God, I could kill him. PG 34. Tirai restraining him, steady old man, steady. Adam covers his ears with his hands. Almighty's voice, ah well, I see I am nothing to you any more. Alona's voice, oh, for goodness sake, I swear that no man has ever meant so much to me as you, from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. You are a man who should know that better than I. Tirai, come, my boy, let's get out of this. Mansky goes to Adam, come on, old chap, you're going to sleep in our room, Tirai, and Mansky lead him to stairway. Adam sleep, he goes out at right, Tirai, and Mansky are on the landing. Alona's voice, oh, don't look so pathetic, well, come here, kiss me. Mansky, I was right, we ought to have sent a telegram. He goes out at right, Tirai, comes down to table, lights a cigarette, and sits on edge of table. Almighty's voice, I want you to remember that kiss forever. PG 35. Alona's voice, it was your old kiss, sweet and burning like hot punch. But do be a dear and go away now, it was mad of you to come here. If my fiancé ever hears of this, I'll kill myself, oh damn my idiotic sentimentality. For getting me into this mess, you must leave here tomorrow on the first train, hell be here any day now. Tirai shifts uneasily, every day I've been expecting a telegram. Tirai groans, get out, I tell you, get out. Almighty's voice, if you insist, dear heart, so be it, your word is law. I am going to bed now, farewell, dear heart, but grant me one last kiss. Tirai to himself, damn all fools who don't know when they've had enough. Alona's voice, go now. Almighty's voice, so be it, good night, dear heart. Alona's voice, good night, you baby. Silence, a door is heard closing. Tirai to himself, at last, good night, dear heart. After a moment, he sits down in armchair, pause. Mansky re-enters. Mansky with a gesture of inquiry toward Alona's room, this silence you had, does it mean? PG 36. Tirai, this silence is a highly moral silence. The baritone hero has departed, and the fair heroine has deposited herself in bed. Mansky, after depositing us in the worst mess in my whole experience, wasn't it awful? Tirai, awful. Mansky, smooth, round, fragrant, and he wanted to buy, oh my God, he sits. Tirai, 10 minutes ago, we were 3 happy men, that poor boy, how is he? Mansky, I got him to bed, poor little Pyramus, a jolly wall that isn't it, church steeple lemon, the damned fool. Tirai, I can't look him in the face, that little old grandmother of his, let me have it with her broomstick, if she were here. Mansky, it's certainly the most appalling mess, you got it through your pull with the butler, marvellous luck, Pyramus, and Thisbe, oh sweet wall, well, I hope you're satisfied. Tirai, oh go to the devil. Mansky, I don't want to be unkind, but whichever way you look at it, you're to blame for this catastrophe. Why the deuce was it necessary to put the PG-37 boy next door to his ladylove? Friendship is friendship, but there are limits. Tirai, I was merely trying to be sympathetic and helpful, I meant well. Mansky never mean well, it's fatal, see what's happened as a result. Bride gone love gone waltz gone operetta, gone all a total loss. On the other hand, the dog didn't die. And the coffee was good. Well, Friday has certainly made a nice clean efficient job of it this time. Tirai, I am only thinking about that boy. Mansky, and I am also thinking about our operetta The Lady Kissed, the Lemon's classic. Brow, after this, can you see her playing the part? Tirai, do stop jabbering about that side of it. I am only interested in the boy. Did he say anything? Mansky, plenty. I wish I hadn't heard it. Tirai, what did he say? Mansky, one of his remarks was ill tear up the score and kill Ilona the round and fragrant one. And the problem that presents itself to me is this: if he tears up his music and kills the prima donna, what sort of a first night shall we have? PG-38. Tirai thinks a moment, then with emphasis, well, have a first night, I promise you that. Mansky, what, after all this? Tirai, yes, after all this, don't worry, well, have a first night, all right. Mansky, with that music? Tirai, with that music, and that composer, and that prima donna, and tell you some other things, well, have a hit, a wedding, and a happy ending. Mansky, well, of all the optimists, it's just a suggestion, but wouldn't it be a good idea if you were to mention just what you propose to do? This is where Sandor Tirai, famous for his happy endings, had better try to surpass himself. Turns toward stairs, get busy, my playwriting genius, and let's see how good you are. Tirai, one can but do one's best. Mansky goes out at right. A clock in the hall is heard to strike 4. Tirai takes a blank sheet of music from the piano. He paces up and down in deep thought, occasionally glancing toward Ilona's room. He jots down a few words. Mansky re-enters. Well, how is he? Mansky, lying in bed staring at the ceiling. That's bad, he didn't even answer my question. Tirai, what did you ask him? PG-39. Mansky, I said plaintively, feeling better now. Tirai, what did you expect him to answer to a damn fool question like that? Mansky, well, have you solved the problem? Tirai, if I have, I'm not going to tell you. You've ruined enough good ideas of mine already with your collaboration. This time I mean to work alone, without a partner. Goes to table, sits on bench. All I ask of you is a little information. There are a few facts I require. Mansky, huffily, that's all I am good for, is it? Tirai, that's all. Where are Olmedy's wife and family now? Mansky, at Lake Ballaton, I believe. Tirai, Lake Ballaton address. Mansky, Verona Cottage. Tirai, putting it down, Verona Cottage. What's Ilona's mother's name? Mansky, Adele Olma something. Tirai, well, it begins with an A. Mansky, yes, I know that. PG-40. Tirai, thank God. Mrs. A. Shabo, what's her address? Mansky, 70 Elizabeth Avenue, Ferd. Tirai, would she be there now? Mansky, petulantly, oh God, how should I know? But listen, points to Ilona's room. My own humble suggestion would be to wake her up now and have a little chat. Tirai, what about? Mansky, starting across, route her out. Goes left. Tirai, excitedly, for heaven's sake, no. The only thing a woman can do is deny everything. What could she deny? Could she unsay those words of hers, gloss over that mad sensual outburst, explain her half-hearted resistance? Of course, she might point out that it was nice of her to forbid the man to bite. No, I can't quite see where denials come in. Mansky, women have lots of other tricks: falling on their knees, fainting, bursting into tear-slowing hystericolia, just going rigid all over. Tirai, that might be good enough for you or me. When you're a middle-aged dramatist, you welcome PG-41, a chance to do the noble forgiving business. It's good theatre. But that boy in there is 25, and he isn't a dramatist, so think again. Mansky, collapsing hopelessly in armchair, then there's no solution to the problem. Tirai, there's a solution to everything. Gon has only to find it. Mansky, by Jove, rather a good line that. Tirai, not bad, jot it down. Mansky does so on his cuff. And now the most important thing is very tactful and understanding with the boy. Sit by his bed till he falls asleep. Mansky, he won't sleep tonight. Tirai, give him something to make him. He must have sleep. Tomorrow's going to be a big day. One false move, and he will be the center of a record scandal. It would break his heart, and on his peace of mind depends. Mansky our success capacity business a year's run. Tirai beastly words. Mansky, and yet only yesterday how beautiful they sounded. Tirai go away ill take on this job rises leave PG 42, everything to me, and base your confidence on past experience, which shows the moment you stop trying to help me I can solve anything. Mansky bows stiffly and turns toward stairs. Thank you my dear fellow. Tirai not at all. Mansky good night. Tirai good night see you tomorrow, till then don't leave him for an instant, that's official I've enjoyed our little talk, so much good night. Mansky good night goes out at right Tirai goes to table sits, and jots down some more notes. There is a knock at door left to hall. Tirai come in Dwornicek enters, with cooler and champagne 4 glasses on a tray. Dwornicek the champagne sir mum's cordon rouge just as you ordered. Tirai motioning it away yes, but that was a long time ago a very long time ago. Since then the world has changed quite a good deal however, the motto of the Tirais is never refuse champagne, so put it down Dwornicek places tray on the table, and the cooler on the floor. PG 43. Dwornicek will 4 glasses be sufficient sir? Tirai 3 more than sufficient Dwornicek leaves 1 glass on the tray before Tirai, he places the other 3 on the table, there is a pause Tirai stares at him. Dwornicek something in the expression of your eye, sir, tells me that you are trying to remember my name. Tirai quite right what is it? Dwornicek sir. Tirai still Dwornicek well all right Dwornicek you can go to bed. Dwornicek at what hour would you desire breakfast sir? Tirai what time is it now? Dwornicek 4:15 sir. Tirai then let us say at 7 or perhaps 6. Dwornicek anything special that you fancy sir? Tirai in offhand way no just ham eggs cold chicken, smoked salmon cold beef bacon butter milk honey jam rolls and tea. PG 44. Dwornicek with lemon. Tirai shouts with revulsion no quietly knoweth rum. Dwornicek starts to go very good sir at 6 precisely. Tirai tell me Dwornicek when do you sleep? Dwornicek in the winter sir. Tirai what are you waiting for? Dwornicek I was wondering if there were any more questions you desired to ask me sir. Tirai no thank you. Dwornicek thank you sir. Tirai no thank you. Dwornicek I love being asked questions, sir, it shows that gentlemen take an interest. Tirai you mean in Dwornicek, the man as opposed to Dwornicek the servant. Dwornicek yes, so you are sure you have nothing more to ask sir, it would be a treat for me. Tirai nothing more thanks my stock of knowledge for today is complete I wish it weren't. PG 45. Dwornicek then I will bid you good night sir starts to go. Tirai good night 1 moment, there is one other thing where is the writing paper, and id like some telegraph blanks too and ink, and also a pen. Dwornicek the writing materials are in the library sir, but I can bring them to you here starts to go. Tirai don't bother ill do my writing in the library, it's a good idea no chance of being interrupted rises, and goes up the first step. Dwornicek ill go and turn on the lights sir. Tirai 1 moment points to champagne that can come too. Dwornicek very good sir takes cooler and 1 glass. Tirai pausing after you. Dwornicek oh no sir. Tirai my dear Dwornicek, I insist you're sure that really is your name. Dwornicek oh yes sir. Tirai I only wondered thank you. PG 46. Dwornicek thank you sir. Tirai no thank you Dwornicek goes out Tirai puffs his cigarette gazes for a moment at the wall of Ilona's room size, and then goes out at left as the curtain falls. PG 47. Act 2. As the curtain rises a clock in the hall is heard to strike 6 golden sunlight pours in the windows. The Mediterranean is as blue as tradition has painted it. Sandor Tirai, now jauntily attired in white flannels, is seated in the armchair at the centre, with the loose leaves of a manuscript before him. As the clock stops striking the door at left to the hall is opened by Dwornicek, who comes down to Tirai bring newspaper on a salver. Dwornicek is followed by 2 lackeys in livery, each carrying an enormous silver tray piled high with Tirai's breakfast. During the dialogue that follows the lackeys place the breakfast upon the long table at the right. This done one of them stands at attention, while the other goes up to the window opens. It steps out on the balcony, and lowers an awning which shuts off some of the now too brilliant sunlight. Dwornicek, good morning, sir. Tirai, good morning, what's this? Dwornicek, morning paper, sir. PG 48. Tirai, you've read it, of course. Dwornicek, oh yes, sir. Tirai, anything about me in it? Dwornicek, no, sir. Tirai, then take it away. Dwornicek gives salver with the newspaper to one of the lackeys and motions both off. Dwornicek, let me see, sir, I think it was ham, eggs, cold chicken, smoked salmon, cold beef, bacon, butter, milk, honey, jam, and rolls that you ordered, was it not? Tirai, quite right. Dwornicek, and tea with lemon. Tirai, with revulsion, not lemon. Dwornicek, there's rum, zero, cognac if you prefer. Tirai, pardon my emotion, I loathe lemons. Dwornicek, yes, so many people do. I had an aunt. Tirai, suppose we don't talk about your aunt just for the moment. Dwornicek, very good, sir. PG 49. Tirai, later on perhaps. Dwornicek, at any time that suits you, sir. Tirai, you must make allowances for the artistic temperament. When I have been sitting up all night writing, I somehow don't feel in the vein for discussing other people's aunts, you understand, don't you? Dwornicek, I quite understand, sir. Tirai has risen and crossed to the table upon which he has put the manuscript. He now goes round to the right side. Where his place is set, he examines the breakfast with evident satisfaction. He lifts the covers from several silver dishes, looks at their contents with pleasure, and smiles at Dwornicek with approval. Tirai, you're really a wonderful fellow. How on earth did you manage not to forget anything? Dwornicek, it was a labour of love, sir. My heart is in that breakfast. Tirai, sitting down your heart too, after he has taken a sip of tea that puts new life into a man. Dwornicek, you must have had very little sleep, sir. Tirai, not much. PG 50. Dwornicek, I hadn't any. Tirai, yes, I remember you told me you were essentially a hibernating animal. Dwornicek, nobody else is stirring. As yet this is the time when I sometimes manage to lie down myself for a few moments. Tirai, then you will get some sleep after all. Dwornicek, just 40 winks, sir. That's the advantage of being by the sea. Gentlemen stay in bed till noon, very different from the mountains. Tirai, who throughout this dialogue is eating and drinking with relish and satisfaction, they get up early in the mountains, eh? Dwornicek, at about 5 or 4:30 they like to go climbing, but there's always a bright side, so they go to bed at 9. Tirai, you know you're broadening my mind tremendously. Every time I see you I learn something new. Dwornicek, if it's not a liberty, sir, I should like to say something. Tirai, ill bet it's something good, go on. Dwornicek, you ought to take more care of your health so you don't get enough sleep. PG 51. Tirai, I don't. Dwornicek, and you smoke too much, sir. I found at least 50 cigarette butts in the ashtray in the library. Tirai, wrong 37. Dwornicek, too many, sir. Tirai, what's your daily allowance? Dwornicek, 15, sir. Tirai, you'll live to be 100. Dwornicek, thank you, is that a medical opinion, sir? Tirai, nah, just a hope. This weary world needs men like you. Dwornicek, no, sir, like you. Tirai, well, shall we say like both of us? Dwornicek, would it be a liberty, sir, if I express the opinion that you have a heart of gold? Tirai, not at all, thank you very much. Dwornicek, thank you, sir. Tirai, no, thank you. Dwornicek, it's the way you take an interest, PG 52, that touches a man, sir. I wish there was something I could do for you. Tirai, at the moment, I think the best thing you can do for me is to leave me alone, and if anyone asks for me, tell them I am sleeping and must not be disturbed, understand? Dwornicek, oh yes, indeed, sir. Dwornicek starts to exit Tirai, stops him. Tirai pantomimes. Wait a minute, I must remember your name. He registers despair. Dwornicek smiles indulgently and whispers, Dwornicek. Tirai, thank you. Dwornicek, thank you, sir. He goes out at the left to hall. Tirai rises, listens at staircase, then goes to the telephone and takes up the receiver. Tirai, hello, will you give me Miss Ilona Szabo's room? He waits. Telephone bell rings loudly in the room at the left. After a pause it rings again. Ilona's voice sleepily, yes. Tirai speaks into telephone very mildly hello. Ilona's voice hello. Page 53. Tirai softly hello. Ilona's voice who's that? Tirai the unfeeling brute who has aroused you from your slumber is known to the police as Sandor Tirai. Ilona's voice changing in a flash delighted Sandor dear old Sandor. Tirai well and how's the prima donna? Ilona's voice where are you speaking from? Tirai next door. Ilona's voice what? Tirai I thought you'd be surprised I am in the next room. Ilona's voice how on earth? Tirai my dear little Ilona, let's postpone the explanations, I want to see you at Aunt's immediately. Ilona's voice anxiously you're frightening me what is it? Tirai deliberately puts down the receiver and speaks toward the wall don't get alarmed lights, cigarette at piano, come in here at once this minute. Page 54. Ilona's voice this minute. Tirai this very minute taps door at left open this door put something on. Ilona's voice what? Tirai anything you have. Ilona's voice do what I can't hear there must be something wrong with the telephone. Tirai goes to the wall put something on and come in here at once can you hear better now? Ilona's voice yes I can hear beautifully now. Tirai good. Ilona's voice ill be right in Tirai goes back to the telephone and hangs up the receiver there is a short pause then the door at left to bedroom is thrown open. And Ilona Szabo enters, she is an extraordinarily beautiful blonde young woman, having just got out of bed and slipped a flimsy alluring negligee over her nightie. She is somewhat dishevelled, her golden hair is awry moreover, she is at the moment more than anxious her apprehension and fright are close to panic. Sandor what? Is it I feel something terrible has happened what's the matter when did you get here? Page 55. Tirai calmly sit down my dear you and I have got to do some quick talking. Ilona but what's happened for heaven's sake tell me. Tirai sit down. Ilona why? Tirai because if you don't sit down now you'll sit down later on when you hear what I've got to say and you'll sit down hard better do it gracefully while you can. He pushes her gently into the armchair at center. Ilona I don't understand. Tirai you will my dear little Ilona, in spite of the fact that you are engaged to my young friend Adam, you are still carrying on an affair with Mr. Olmody. Ilona with indignation, it's an outrageous lie. Tirai good, I thought you were going to say it was none of my business. Ilona I couldn't say that because you're Albert's guardian guide philosopher and friend and God, knows what else and you're a friend of mine, and PG 56 write plays for me, so I simply say that it's a lie. Tirai I'm glad you do, because it's an observation which I can answer. I've been in this room since last night, and the walls in this new wing are as thin as paper. Ilona looks at walls as the truth dawns upon her, she is horrified good God. Tirai lemon Ilona hides her face lemon church steeple well dear Ilona, suppose we talk this over something's got to be done and done quickly. Ilona if you heard what I said too. Tirai every word. Ilona then you know that I told him to get out and he's getting out today at 12 o'clock. So if you don't say anything and of course you won't. Tirai not quite so fast please, if the thing were as simple as that you would never have known from me, that I had overheard you I regret to say matters are much more unpleasant. Ilona sinking back in chair my God you don't mean. Tirai I see you've guessed. Page 57. Ilona did it I can't say it. Tirai I will say it for you yes the boy did hear it too. Ilona looks at Tirai God he's here then. Tirai he is here. Ilona where's? Tirai sh he's up in Mansky's room asleep, and last night he was in this room awake. Ilona rises goes toward her room ill take Veronal all there is in my bottle. Tirai that's not enough. Ilona turns 10 ounces. Tirai I was not referring to the Veronal, I mean suicide is no solution. Ilona there isn't any solution that I could survive dramatically, there are only 2 things I can possibly dockle myself, or deny the whole story. Tirai deny the whole story do you suppose, if it were just a question of telling lies I would have troubled you id, have told them myself long ago. Ilona then we come back to the Veronal. Page 58. Tirai exactly. We come back to the Varaneland, find it safely tucked away in its bottle. Ilona, well, what do you suggest? Tirai, I have my plan, and all I ask of you is not to hinder it. Ilona, almost crying, you know I worship Albert. If anybody knows that you do, I've been a different woman. Since I met him, he looks on me as a saint. Tirai gives her a quick ironic glance. And he's right, I have turned into a saint. Since I began to love him, it was the only thing I wanted to do in life, though. Keep straight for his sake. I was so happy. She sinks into armchair crying, I love him so. Tirai, and yet you can't be true to him. Ilona indignantly, you've no right to say that it was nothing but my damned sentimentality. You know very well that affair with that beast. Almady didn't last a couple of months. First, he gave me breathing lessons, and taught me how to throw my voice. Tirai with a significant glance, yes, he taught you that, all right. Ilona, I am just a victim of my kind heart. I thought I was rid of him, but he got himself invited here, PG 59, and he's always bursting into tears. A woman hates to see a man cry. He stuck to me like a leech, rises, and stalks about hysterically. But why on earth would I want to start in with him again? I give you my word, Sandor, that last night was simply like the last dying vibrations of a high note. Tirai, you'd have done better to stop vibrating a little earlier. Still there, it is what we've got to do now, is get you out of the mess. Ilona runs across to Tirai and throws herself on her knees, clasping him beseechingly. Sandor, Sandor, darling, do you really think you can? Tirai, yes, I can, but don't think I'm doing it for your sake, my dear, not for the sake of your beautiful eyes. You deserve to be drawn and quartered. I'm doing it for that poor decent boy who still retains a few ideals in this unpleasant world. Yes, my dear Ilona, I think I must ask you to be a little ashamed of yourself. Ilona bitterly, don't worry, rises. I am, what can I do? Tirai goes to telephone. I am just going to tell you, and you won't enjoy it. Still good medicines, rarely pleasant. Picks up receiver. Hello. To Ilona, what's the number of Almady's room? PG 60. Ilona apprehensively, what do you want with him? Tirai into the telephone, give me Mr. Almady's room, please. Pause, never mind about all that, my good man, I don't care what instructions he left, call him, and go on ringing, till he answers. It's a matter of life and death. Ilona, what are you doing? Tirai in telephone, Mr. Almady, yes, I know you gave instructions. Will you please be quiet for a moment? This is Sandor. Tirai speaking, here in the new wing last night, by car. Good morning, you were awake already, capital. Would you mind coming here at once, room number 4? Yes, I mean now, right away. Yes, matter of life and death was what I said, but I made a slight error. I should have said a matter of death. Yes, this very minute, right? He hangs up the receiver. Ilona starts to go. Where are you off to? Ilona, if Almady is coming here. Tirai, you will kindly stay just where you were. Ilona looking toward Albert's bedroom at right, crying, he looked on me as a saint, he thought. PG 61, I was everything that was fine and pure. He called me his Madonna. Tirai, you should have thought of that a long time ago. Ilona, tell Muhat, did Albert say? Tirai, I wouldn't ask that if I were you. Ilona, God, what was the plan you said you had? Can't you speak? Tirai, patience. Ilona, it's too cruel. Just because I hate hurting people's feelings. She breaks off as a knock sounds on the door left to hall. Tirai, come in. Almady, who enters, is also in a state of nervous apprehension. He is attired in elaborate, not to say loud, house pajamas at all, and but recently handsome man, now well into middle age. Almady is first last, and always the actor. He dramatizes every moment of his existence. He does not walk, he struts, he does not talk, he declaims. Almady, good morning, sees Ilona surprised. Hello, you here? Tirai, yes, she's here. PG 62. Almady, but what's the matter? Has something happened? Ilona, oh, do sit down. Tirai grimly, hell, sit down quite soon enough. I'm not afraid of his not sitting down. Almady to Tirai, yow, forgive me if I seem nervous. Tirai, glass of brandy. Almady, thank you, deliberately, never in the morning. Tirai, Mr. Almady, you are a married man, and the father of a family, and you are forcing your attentions on another man's fiancée. Almady indignantly, it's an outrageous lie. Tirai, good, I thought you were going to say, it was none of my business. You would have been quite right, but Alino, I am afraid that won't do. Almady aggressively, Mr. Tirai, I would have you know. Tirai, shut up. Almady outraged, shut up. Tirai significantly, Lemon Almady sits down abruptly. I told you he'd sit down Almady. PG63 looks at the left wall. Yes, quite right, it's as thin as paper. Almady rises. Now come Mr. Tirai between two gentlemen. Tirai, I beg your pardon. Almady as one gentleman to another, I ask your discretion. Tirai, sit down. Almady sitting down anxiously. Why, is there something else coming? Tirai crosses to right and listens at staircase. Yes, there is something else coming. Are you sitting down? Almady, yes. Tirai, then listen. I wasn't the only one who heard everything. Her fiancé was in this room with me at the time, and his hearing is excellent. Almady strangling brandy. Tirai pouring it out in the morning, gives Almady the brandy. Almady, I always take it in the morning. He gulps it down. Alona, well, what are you going to do now, you miserable idiot? You see what you've done. PG64. You've driven me to suicide. Oh God, I shall die, I shall die. Almady rising melodramatically. I'll die with you. Alona, I don't want you. I am going to die alone. Almady pompously. I am ready to give him satisfaction. Tirai, that's the last straw. As Almady starts to speak ill. Tell you what you are going to do. You are going to do just as I order. Almady starting up. Order. Tirai, sit down. Almady sits down. Alona, yes, order. To Tirai, rapidly tell us please. Never mind how much he rants. Almady indignantly. Rants, you dare to criticize my diction. Tirai, oh damn your diction, just thank your stars that I am going to get you out of this. A married man, father of a family, with 4 children at home for little lemons. Almady rises. One word from you, and this telegram, all ready and written, goes off to your wife. Almady looks again at wall and groans. PG65. Alona, look at him, don't look at the wall. Last night was the time to have done that. Tirai, in that room next door last night something occurred. Alona, ashamed. Yes, yes, please, we know what occurred. Tirai, that is just what you don't know. You are now going to hear. What occurred was the rehearsal of a play. Do you grasp my meaning? Alona, in the middle of the night. Tirai, in the middle of the night. Almady, how do you mean the rehearsal of a play? Tirai, your very loud remarks, so loud that they actually penetrated the wall. With dialogue from a play. Now do you understand? Alona, I do. To Almady, don't you? Idiot rises. It's the most marvelous, wonderful idea, you old darling. She is just about to embrace Tirai when she stops in consternation. Tirai, what's the matter? Alona, it's no good. He'd never believe it. Tirai, why wouldn't he believe it? PG66. Alona, where on earth is there a play with lines in it like those? Tirai, we're picking up pile of papers from the table here. Alona, what do you mean? Tirai, pointing here. You are. Here's the play. This is it. Alona, who wrote it? Tirai, I. Roman 999. Don't stare at me, my dear child, with those starry eyes of blue. Sits on bench. Rather ask when I wrote it. Alona, when could you have written it? Tirai, this morning between 4 and 6. After all, one is either a playwright or one isn't half of it. I heard through the wall. The other half I wrote to fit in this life. Everyone has to fight with his own weapons. My weapon is the pen. And on this occasion I hope it will prove considerably mightier than the sword. I am feeling this morning like an acrobat, who for once has the chance to use his skill to save a life. I don't suppose any play has ever yet been written with such purely altruistic motives. Well, there you are. There's the play. Read it, learn it, and play it. He gives her the manuscript. PG67. Alona, play it. Tirai, naturally, you must play it. How else can you make him believe without a shadow of doubt that what you were saying last night was just dialogue? Off you go. Dress rehearsal, early this evening, opening tonight. Almady, tonight, but where? Tirai, at the concert, of course, after dinner in the ballroom. To Alona, you're down on the program, all ready for something or other. Alona, a couple of songs. Contemptuously, he's to recite some poems. Tirai, then there'll be a slight change in the program. Hell act, with you instead, a one-act play. Alona, looking at script, but how on earth can I learn all this by tonight? Almady goes to window. Tirai, well, really, last night, you knew it well enough. Almady sighs deeply. What's the matter with you? Almady comes down. Mr. Tirai, that was a sigh of relief. Do you know my wife? Tirai, I do. Didn't I tell you that it was a matter of death? PG68. Almighty, how can I ever thank you? He holds out his hand. Tirai ignores it. Tirai, don't bother to try if you think I'm doing this for your sake, my good man. You're greatly mistaken. Unfortunately, my life-saving apparatus is so constructed that you automatically have to be rescued too. Ilona, oh, but listen. Tirai, now what is it? Ilona, what earthly reason could we have had for rehearsing at 3 a.m? Tirai, that's what I ask myself, but I answer myself quite simple. You had to play the thing tonight. You'd lost a lot of time on a picnic. Every moment was precious. You were so conscientious that, when you came home, you insisted on rehearsing even though it was 3 o'clock in the morning. Ilona, well, we'd better go and start studying at once. I am a very slow study. Tirai, 1 minute, don't get excited. Who's supposed to be running this concert? Ilona, the Count's secretary, Mr. Mel. Tirai, we must notify him of this change in the PG69 program. Goes to telephone. Hello, give me Mr. Mel's room, please. Ilona, but he'll be asleep. Tirai, oh no, my dear, not after this telephone bell has rung once or twice. He hands Ilona the receiver. There, you are ladies first. Ilona, taking telephone, but what am I to say? Tirai, keep calm, I'll prompt you. Ilona, hello, is that Mr. Mel? Yes, it is early, isn't it? She looks at Tirai for directions. Tirai, good morning. Ilona, into the telephone, good morning. Tirai, how did you sleep? Ilona, her hand over the receiver. I can't say that the poor man is furious. Tirai, shrugging, use your own judgment then. Ilona, into the telephone in her most seductive manner. Dear Mr. Mel, cuz I'm so dreadfully sorry to wake you up at this hour, but I wanted to tell you that there will be a little change in the program tonight. I am sure the Count will be pleased. I am sure you will be pleased. I am sure the audience will be pleased. PG70. Tirai, unanimous. Ilona, into the telephone instead of working alone. I am going to appear with Mr. Almighty. Yes, Mr. Almighty, in an extremely witty, charming, brilliant little duologue. Tirai bows. Ilona listens at the telephone for a moment. Then she turns to Tirai and asks, as if she were still speaking to Mel, what kind of a play is it? Tirai, French. Ilona, into the telephone. French, as before. Who wrote it? Tirai, Geraldie. Ilona, Geraldie, I believe. Pause. Oh, isn't that nice? Tirai, apprehensive. What's nice? Ilona, hand over receiver. He says he knows every line that Geraldie ever wrote. Tirai, then it's by Sardou. Ilona, into the telephone. No, I am sorry, I've just been looking at the script again. It's not by Geraldie, it's by Sardou. Tirai, the great Sardou. Ilona, into the telephone. The great Sardou indeed. PG71. Tirai, how is he up on Sardou? Ilona, covering receiver. He says the only thing of Sardus he knows is Hedda Gabler. Tirai, delighted. That's the man for us. Ilona, into the telephone. That's the man for us. Tirai, no, that last remark was supposed to be confidential. Ilona, goodbye, and thank you so much, Mr. Mel. You've been so sweet. Oh, of courses, if we'd dream of having anybody but you as a prompter. The title. Tirai, a tooth for a tooth. Ilona, into the telephone. A truth. Tirai, tooth. Ilona, a tooth for a tooth. Yes, isn't it quite snappy? Coo's goodbye. She hangs up receiver and turns to Tirai. Why a French piece? Tirai, merely to ensure that nobody will know who wrote it. That's the beauty of French literature. There's such a lot of it. Besides, one has one's conscience. I've stolen so much from the French in my time that it's only fair I should give them something for a change. And now that everything seems to be working out all right, let me say with PG72, all the emphasis at my disposal, get out, go, and study to Almighty answer that no one will recognize my handwriting. You have got to copy out the script. Almighty, all of it. Tirai, from beginning to end. Almighty, you think of everything. Tirai, unlike a certain southern fruit. Ilona, who has been looking through the script. Oh, but this isn't right. Tirai, what isn't? Ilona, this line, you make me say your kiss, is revolting to me. What I really said was. Tirai, that was your old kiss, sweet and burning like hot punch. I know my memory is excellent, but fortunately, we got the boy out of the room before you got that far. Almighty, and may I be permitted to inquire why my kiss should be described as revolting? Tirai, the line occurs in the second part of the play, where I was relying on my native inspiration. Already you call my kiss revolting, I wish to know why. PG 73. Tirai, that is how I see it. I am the author of this play, and that is my opinion of your kiss. Already goes up stage in a huff. Ilona, I do think you might have made some noise to warn us. Why couldn't you have coughed or something? Tirai, suppose I had, what should I have been able to do now? You overlook the fact that your very first words, my dear Ilona, left no room for misunderstanding. If I had stopped you, then nothing could have averted the tragedy. Already coming down mollified, what a bray. Tirai, you flatter me. Ilona, no, he doesn't, he's right for once. Did this idea come to you the moment you heard us? Tirai, no, I got it from you. Ilona, from us. Tirai, yes, stupid of me. I admit, you see, I always assume the best of my fellow men. And just for a minute, I did think that you really were acting. Later on I realized my mistake. Ilona, you thought we were acting, why? Tirai, because it all sounded so artificial. No ring. PG 74 of conviction. I refer particularly to the more erotic passages. Ilona, I don't wonder, considering I don't care one little bit for the man. Already, what's that? Ilona, you heard. Already, you don't love me. Ilona, no. Already, furious, so you were lying. Ilona, yes. Already, just to get rid of me. Ilona, with loathing, vehemently, yes, I hate the sight of you. Already, bitterly, serpent. Ilona, I'd like to murder you. Already bursts into ludicrous sobs. Ilona, my god, thighs is the limit. Tirai, if you want to cry all over anyone, cry all over me. I like it, it's like a tonic to me. Already, what made you realize that we were not acting? Tirai, the disgusting sloppy way you began carrying. PG 75 on. No author living would dare put slush like that in the mouth of an actor who was supposed to be making love. Already sloppy. Tirai, beyond words. Already, with indignation, allow me to inform you. Tirai, shut up. Already, his dignity collapsing. Oh, very well. Tirai, my friends may be here any minute now. Please go and study your parts. To Ilona, who has been turning over the leaves of the script. That's a bit you'll have to learn particularly well. Ilona, which? Tirai, pointing to manuscript. These lines, here, this loathsome series of speeches, the ones we overheard last night, points from there to there. Already looks at script. Ilona reads, I hardly remember. Tirai, I do, nor is your fiancé likely to have forgotten. Ilona reading, I worship you, I adore you, I love you, as the church steeple loves the cloud that PG 76 settles on its summit. Already turns away, embarrassed, just words. Already takes script, you have used me up and squeezed me like a lemon. Ilona takes script, yes, now I remember. Already, it's all down word for word. Tirai takes script. Tirai, yes, the passage is underlined in red ink, 3-page from page 16. It goes on, come here, and let me kiss that beautiful classic brow, and then thighs is the worst bit. Hereth's mad outburst of sensuality reads rapidly. When I look at that, at the perfect shape, the rose flush of that skin just to stroke it. Ilona, yes, but Roman 1. Tirai, I know, reads, hands off, you said, but he couldn't have obeyed you, for he goes on, my God, how round it is, how smooth, how velvety. And then I am afraid he must have got very close indeed, for he adds, and how fragrant. That's right, isn't it? Already, quite right, it was fragrant. Ilona, but Roman 1. PG 77. Tirai, no, my dear, you did not. There was a complete silence, until you exclaimed, you mustn't bite both, turn away. Yes, I should think you would be ashamed of yourselves. He gives Ilona the script. All right then, copy it out, and learn it. If you ever studied parts in your lives, study these well. Have the dress rehearsal at 7:30 sharp here in this room. I'll give you a run-through, and after dinner first performance. And now, Ilona, out we go, eh? Tirai, you took the words out of my mouth, and don't forget we've not seen each other for 3 months. Ilona, all right, 3 months. Already going out a colossal brain. They bow. Tirai, I thank you. Already and Ilona go into her room. Tirai sits down and resumes his interrupted breakfast. Throughout the following scene, he goes on eating quietly, deliberately, and with a good appetite. Mansky enters at right, also in white flannels, but looking more doleful and dejected than ever. PG 78. Mansky, have you been up long? Tirai, I couldn't sleep, he goes on eating. How's our infant? Mansky woke up a moment ago, I left him dressing. Tirai, you had breakfast yet? Mansky, not a mouthful, couldn't touch it, you seem to have no difficulty in putting it away. Tirai, with mock sadness, one must keep up one's strength. Mansky, I'm amazed, and if I may say so, a little shocked, sitting there gorging, as if nothing had happened. Can't you realize we're absolutely ruined? I'm positively ill thinking about it. Tirai mysteriously, shall I let you into a secret, Mansky? Mansky with excited anticipation, yes, tell me. Tirai with great deliberation, I am a man who weighs his words, I do not speak lightly, and I say to you solemnly, my friend, dramatic pause, that this is the best bit of ham I've ever tasted. Mansky furious bar. Crosses left to a mirror. PG 79. Tirai continuing as before, Juicenutta positively good solicitously, did the boy sleep at all? Mansky, he dropped off about daylight out of sheer exhaustion, looks in the glass, I am pale. Tirai, say anything. Mansky, not a word, just stared at the ceiling, you know that's bad. Tirai, ceilings aren't so bad, walls are much worse. Mansky, what I can't understand is why a magnificent place like this should have walls like tissue paper. Tirai, these are deep waters. Mansky irritated, do stop eating. Tirai, but I haven't finished. Mansky gobble gobble gobble, looks in the glass, my God, I am pale. Tirai, suits you, intellectual pallor. Mansky crosses to Tirai, what about that solution you were hinting at last night? Tirai, there were several possibilities, I considered them all thoroughly, in the night watches while you lay snoring in your bed, oh yes, I heard you, PG 80, while I was changing my clothes, points to the table, telegrams, letters all ready, finally I hit on the best and simplest plan. Mansky, which is? Tirai, I am going to do everything possible to make him break with her. Mansky, what for? Tirai, because that's the surest way of bringing them together. If he casts her off forever, in 2 weeks hell be rushing after her, and falling at her feet, the lady after, a little coaxing will allow herself to melt, he will coax a little more, she will melt a little more, finally, she will melt altogether, and the curtain will fall on the lovers' slow embrace. Mansky with cumulative contempt, you thought of that in the night, did you? Tirai, I Roman 999, Mansky, all by yourself. Tirai, all by myself. Mansky, well, I've noticed all this past year that you've been slipping, I realize now, that you've completely lost your grip. Our last show died the PG 81 death, simply because you would write psychology into it, and now you've become simply driveling. It's a great shock to me. Do you know what's happening? Little by little you're beginning to think, and that spells ruin for both of us, haven't you grasped? Yet what a frightful knockdown blow last night's affair was to that boy. Tirai sh listens, pointing to door right here, he is enter Adam. He is also in white flannels, very solemn and miserable pause. He passes them without a word, and goes to balcony. Hullo, not even a good morning. Adam, oh, good morning. Tirai rises. Mansky looks longingly at breakfast things. Mansky to Adam with his best bedside manner, had breakfast. Adam, no. Mansky goes above table and sits down, starts to eat. Tirai to Adam, sleep. Adam, no. Tirai, nor did Roman 1. Adam looks at left wall, no, nothing from there, not another sound. He left PG 82. And she went to sleep. I didn't on your account. To Mansky, hullo, appetite picking up, appetite picking up. Mansky starting guiltily and pushing his plate away, no, I can't swallow, too nervous, I am a wreck. Tirai, try the ham. Adam goes to Tirai, my dear Uncle Sandor, I don't want to be a burden to you two any longer, know that my life has been blown to bits. Tirai, come. Adam, I mean it, I know what I'm talking about, there's a great crack in my heart, and… Tirai, come Nob, a man, we had enough of that sort of talk last night, tell me just what is it you want to do? Adam, before anything else, I want to get away from this place. Tirai, quite reasonable, and then… Adam, then I'll tear up the music I wrote for her, tear it into little bits, and burn it. Tirai, right, and after that… Adam, don't be so casual, you know I have nobody PG 83 in the world, but yow you too, if you hadn't been here it'd have ended things long ago. Tirai to Mansky, who has once more started on the breakfast that's right, peck a bit. Mansky jumping up, no, it's no good, absolutely can't swallow, I'm a very sick man. Adam, you see I am to blame for that. Tirai, now listen to me, my boy, sit down. Adam sits. What has happened, it's over, done with, a thing of the past. And I'm going to say something to you now which no young person will ever believe. You're 25, and you're gifted, the world's at your feet, and that world, let me remind you, contains a great many million women. Adam, what good are they to me? I only wanted this one. Rises, can't we get away? No, at once, I won't see her. Tirai, oh yes, you will know scandals if you please. You arrived here late at night, everybody knows. She is your fiancée, you can't run away this morning now. I'm not going to urge, in fact, positively, forbid you to become reconciled to her, but you must do the sensible thing. In the course of the morning we will go to her and pay our respects and stay on here another day or two. PG 84, and we will not breathe a word of what happened last night. You will behave towards her quite nicely, and naturally I know it will hurt, it's a bitter pill to swallow, but today you are a man. Adam, yes, you're right. Tirai, up with the head and out with the chin, and damn everybody, that's the stuff. The day after tomorrow, when we leave, you shall write her a letter, and let yourself go as much as you like, and no matter how it may hurt, you have finished with that woman forever. Adam, with an effort, very well, and if it should hurt too much, don't be afraid that I'll go back to her. I'll always have pluck enough to put a bullet through my head. Mansky, there, see where you have got us to with your psychology. Tirai to Adam, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Adam, smilingly, it's all right, it was silly of me to talk nonsense like that. I won't let you down, you shall be satisfied with me. Mansky to Adam, good, then you want to tear anything up. Adam, no. PG 85. Tirai, yowl, behave towards Ilona as if nothing had happened. Adam, yes, honor bright. He holds out his hand. Tirai rises, I am satisfied. Mansky, sitting down to breakfast, a completely changed man. It's an enormous relief to me to see you getting hold of yourself again, so capitally. Eats rapidly, bless my soul, yes, an enormous relief. I really feel a little better. Tirai, I am proud of you. To Mansky, haven't you finished breakfast yet? Mansky, delighted, I can swallow. Tirai, so I notice. Mansky to Adam, come and join me, my boy, yowl, find your appetite. Steals back little by little to Tirai, who is standing beside him. He's suffering, he can't get over it. Tirai, we must try to make him. Mansky, come on, my boy, just a mouthful, try a little of this excellent ham. Adam, I don't want any ham. Mansky, well, a slice of chicken then and some nice hot tea with a drop of brandy. PG 86. Adam, oh, all right, sits down. Mansky to Tirai, who is sitting deep in thought, well, what's on your mind? Adam, after trying to cheer me up, are you going to be depressed yourself? Mansky, do you know what I think's the matter with him? He's got another. Tirai, you win another problem. Mansky, theatre. Tirai, as always. Mansky, oh my God. Tirai, last night when we came into this room, I was saying how hard it was to begin a play. I am now thinking how hard it is to end a second act. Mansky, oh, come and end your breakfast. Tirai, no, I mean it, it's worrying me. Take this situation of ours, for instance, just as we did yesterday. We have had a curious experience. We arrived perfectly happy, and immediately got a terrible shock, a ghastly disillusionment. We've managed to survive it, and we've got ourselves in hand again. But suppose these things had happened not in real life, but on the stage. Suppose this were not a real room, but a painted set. Suppose PG 87 we three were characters in a play who had just passed through the experiences we have passed through. Mansky, well. Tirai, well, how would you end the act? Mansky, impatiently, my dear fellow, it's ended already. Tirai, in a way, yes, but don't forget that at the last moment before the curtain actually falls, you need something more, a new note of suspensey punch, both, if you can manage it. In fact, just what is implied in that word. Curtain, 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 the act must end. And yet it must not quite end. The audience's interest must be snapped up, given a jolt. So, my distinguished collaborator, how about it? You've often told me how good you are at your hand at ending the second act of this dismal adventure of ours. Mansky, my dear chap, simplicity itself. Come here, sit down. Tirai sits at table now. Then I am all for the quiet curtain, one of those charming, delicate things the French do so well. You know, sophisticated, lightly sentimental smile behind the tear. The three friends sit down to breakfast. Audiences always like to see actors eating. The storm has passed, the skies are still. PG 88 a little dark, but there is sunshine in the heart, and all that sort of thing. Let this sink in for a bite. Everything very cozy and pleasant business of eating. We each have a glass of wine. They all take up their glasses for a moment. Silence. Their thoughts are busy with what has passed. Pause. Capital. And then he raises his glass. You want a couple of smart lines, spoken with something of a flourish. Thinks, oh well then, as if he had thought of what he wanted to say. To Adam, my young friend, today you have become a man. Tirai, pointing to where he was sitting at the time I said that. Mansky, for always remember. Tirai, yes, that shows it's coming. Mansky, not heeding him, always remember that in affairs of the heart, it is not the first victory that makes us men, but the first defeat. Lifts his glass to woman's treachery, which has made our child a man. Raises his hand toward the curtain. Curtain starts to come down. They put their glasses down on the table, simultaneously untasted. Mansky smiles complacently. How's that? Tirai, rotten. Curtain slowly goes up again. PG 89. Gets up tame, feeble, nothing in the nature of a high spot. I'm not saying it isn't pretty and graceful, charming, even, but it lacks suspense. Pause. To Adam, how would you do it? Adam, I feeling as I do now. Tirai, give us your idea. Adam, with tremendous intensity, very well, I'll give you my idea. We start from where Mansky gave that toast. Mansky to woman's. Adam rises. Treachery, that's it. I'd say no. I want drink any toast. Throws glass against the wall, smashing it to bits. Mansky, approvingly effective. Adam, rapidly losing control of himself and becoming hysterical. That woman was not just an incident in my life. She was my first great passion. I promised to act as if nothing had happened. I meant to keep that promise. But when I remember that I gave her my life, and that she whispers words of love to another man and kisses another man, that's such unbearable burning torture, that the only right solution. Grabs small game, carving knife from table. Tirai, leaping forward. Hey, stop that. PG 90. Adam, struggling with him. No. Mansky, rushing forward. My God, you weren't really. Adam, struggling. Let me go, I want to die. Tirai has got knife away from him. He looks at it intently. Adam stands pale and defiant. Tirai, what the devil do you think you're doing? Adam, bitterly, just finishing the act. He sits down. Mansky follows him and sits down too. Smiles wanly. Curtain starts to come down. Tirai, putting the knife away. Very bad. Curtain goes up slowly again. Quite impossible. Death's all right for the end of a play, but absolutely no good for a second act. Besides, the scene was too crude. I don't say the gallery might not like it, but think what the critics would say. They despise melodrama. Suspense is what you want. Suspense, and then a quick curtain. Mansky, and now I suppose you could show us how it really ought to be done. Tirai goes to telephone. Hello, will you give me Miss Ilona Chabot's room, please? Bell sounds in Ilona's room. PG 91. Mansky, starting. What on earth? Ilona's voice. Hello. Tirai, hello Ilona. Ilona's voice. Yes, who is that speaking? Tirai, don't you recognize my voice? This is Sandor. Tirai. Ilona's voice. Oh, how wonderful. Are you here then? Where are you speaking from? Tirai, yes, I am right here in the castle, next door to you, number 4. Ilona's voice. What a perfectly delightful surprise. Tirai, we came by car last night, all 3 of us. Ilona's voice. You don't mean Albert too? Tirai, yes, and Mansky, if you think that worth mentioning. We're all 3 here in this room, and we've brought you the finished script of the operetta. Ilona's voice. Marvelous, that's something like a surprise. Tirai, we were hesitating about waking you so early, but I particularly wanted to see you about PG 92, something. Can you come in here for a minute? Replaces receiver and goes to door. Adam and Mansky stand where they are. Enter Ilona with assumed joy and excitement. Ilona, well, this is wonderful of you all. She kisses Tirai lightly and crosses quickly to Adam, who kisses her hands. What a surprise, Albert, darling, this is a surprise. She hangs onto Adam's arm. Sandor, to think that it's Tirai, 3 whole months. Ilona, 3 whole months since I've seen you. How brown you're looking and younger than ever. Let me look at you. Wonderful. She crosses to Mansky and kisses him on each cheek. And Mansky, how are you, Mansky dear? I think this is too sweet of you. All you don't know how I've been longing to see you. When did you get here? She returns to Adam. Tirai, very gravely. Just a minute, Ilona. He looks through door into her room. Why, Mr. Olmady, of all people, won't you come in? Enter Olmady. Olmady nervously. Good morning. Tirai fancy finding you here after all these years. PG 93. Almady pompously passing through, just passing through. I only wanted to say howdy Audo to the Count, but they wouldn't let me go through the shooting party, you know, and the concert they insisted on my staying. Alona, I was so surprised to see him. Tirai, pardon me for disturbing you, and possibly casting a slight gloom on what must have been a joyful reunion, but I have something rather important to say. Ilona drops Adam's arm. Ilona crosses to Tirai. What do you mean nothing unpleasant, I hope? Tirai, yes, extremely unpleasant. Ilona sits down terrified to Almady, please. He motions them to sit down. Well, then we arrived here last night, long pause, and just now we were sitting having breakfast, we three to Mansky, weren't we? Adam, puzzled, yes. Mansky, well. Tirai, keep quite calm please, we were sitting here having breakfast, all three of us. He lowers his voice and speaks very earnestly. I must entreat PG 90 for you all to hear what I am about to say quite calmly, don't lose your heads. Ilona, for God's sake. Almady uneasily, well, what is it? Tirai holds up his hand, please, dead silence. What I am about to say, and I shall not detain you long, no, must almost inevitably have a shattering effect on the lives, both the private and the professional lives of all us 5 people. I have asked myself, is it wise to speak? And I have answered myself, wise or not, it is unavoidable. Ilona rises, gasping. I have a question to ask you, breaks off, dead silence. Then very simply to Mansky, how's that for suspense? Mansky, yes, well, what now? Tirai, nothing, that's all, smiles. Curtain comes down quickly and rises immediately. He offers Ilona his arm as the rest of the group breathe again and relax their tension. We've just been having an argument about the proper way to end a second act. Leads Ilona slowly to door left, to haul the others following. I couldn't resist the temptation to show these colleagues of mine how by the most simple methods you can make an act end on a note of suspense, you see. PG 95. He goes out talking, followed first by Almady, then by Adam and Mansky. Mansky going out to Adam, crazy, absolutely crazy, thinks of nothing in the world but the theatre. The curtain falls again. PG 96. Act 3. As the curtain rises, it reveals the room lighted up by the electric sconces and candelabra. A large and elaborately painted screen in silver and green has been placed in front of the window. It is painted to suggest an orchard. The screen shuts out the view of the Mediterranean, but to the left and right of it, we glimpse the lighted esplanade and many more twinkling lights than in the first act, for it is early evening. There are 2 garden chairs in front of the screen in the raised portion of the room. Otherwise the scene is unchanged. Mr. Mel, the Count's secretary, and the master of ceremonies, enters at left from the hall. He is a fussy, pale young man with high-pitched voice. He wears glasses and is in evening clothes. He is carrying a wicker table, and carrying it with difficulty and discomfort. He places it between the 2 wicker chairs in front of the screen and stands caressing his hands where the table has cut into them. Mel calls Dwornicek to himself. Where is that man? Calls Dwornicek. PG 97. Dwornicek's voice, coming, sir, coming. Dwornicek enters from the hall followed by a lackey. They are both in formal full-dress livery of white with knee breeches and powdered wigs. Dwornicek carries a book, 2 letters, a scarf, and a woman's hat. The lackey carries a tall brown hunting hat, whip gauntlets, and a large luscious peach. Mel, oh, there you are at last. Why are you so late? Dwornicek, I fell downstairs, sir. Mel, well, that oughtn't to have taken you long. He fiddles with the screen. Dwornicek, you should have let me carry those things, Mr. Mel. Mel, I couldn't wait, you are so slow. Dwornicek, slow but sure, sir. He puts things on table. When I was a lad, my mother used to say. Mel, I don't want to hear about your mother. Dwornicek, no, sir, very few people do. Mel, have you got all the properties? Dwornicek, prop, sir, is the more professional expression. PG 98. Mel, I was using the more technical term. Well, properties or props, have you got them? Dwornicek, yes, sir, book. Mel, peach. Dwornicek, scarf. Mel, whip. Dwornicek, 2 letters and a pair of gloves. Mel, good, mops his forehead. Oh dear, what a headache I am getting. Dwornicek, what you want is an aspirin. Mel, have you an aspirin? Dwornicek, no, sir. Mel, you're a great help. Dwornicek, thank you, sir. If I might be allowed to say, so you let yourself get too nervous on these festive nights, so you worry. Mel, how can I help worrying with all the responsibility there is on my shoulders? Dramatist, what I always say is never worry too much today, things may be worse tomorrow, and then you can worry twice as hard. PG 99. Mel, it does make me so nervous when people want to alter the program at the last moment. First, Miss Shabo says she's going to sing. Then, she says she's going to act. He breaks off. As Almady enters, goes to Almady, good evening, sir. Good evening, you are first in the field. Almady grouchily, good evening, the others will be here directly, they're a dressing. Mel, a wonderful shooting party today, sir. Capital, sport capital. There is nothing like a good brisk day out in the open with the guns. What a colour it has given you. Almady, I wasn't there. Mel, oh, not theirs. Almady, no, I've been in my room all day writing. Mel, pardon my curiosity, but may one ask what you were writing? Almady, no, one may not. Dramatist explaining, I think the gentleman does not wish to say what he was writing, sir. Mel, oh, are you still there? Dramatist, yes, sir, still here. Mel, then go away. PG 100. Dramatist, very good, sir, really, I shouldn't worry, Mr. Mel, look on the bright side, sir. Mel, all very well for you have no responsibilities, and the guests give you big tips. Dramatist, that is the bright side, so he goes out at left to hall followed by the lackey. Mel, a secretary's life is a dog's life, Mr. Almady, work from morning till night, and never a word of thanks. Almady takes no notice. You are very silent, Mr. Almady. Almady, I sometimes find it soothing to be silent. Try it yourself. One of these days, I take it, the concert begins directly after dinner. Mel, immediately following the serving of coffee. Almady, and when does this play of ours come on? Mel, it is the last item on the program, the place of honor. Almady Bar walks away upstage. Mel, sir, follows him. Almady absorbed in his part, which he is studying nothing. Mel, Miss Shabo tells me that no scenery is required but 2 elegant chairs, and 1 elegant table. PG 101. Almady, is that an elegant table? Mel, well, realino, but what can one expect in a garden? If only the scene had been an interior. There's some perfectly lovely furniture in the Count's room. Genoine, Louis XV. A very elegant period, Louis XV. Almady, I don't care a damn, they're all the same to me, Louis XV, or Louis XIV, or Louis XVII. Mel, but there isn't a Louis XVII, and I've often wondered, why I've wondered should there be a Louis XVI, and a Louis XVIII, but not a Louis XVII. Almady exasperated, oh God, ask a furniture dealer. Mel, I Roman 999 always asking furniture dealers, but they only know as far as Louis XVI, that's where the Louis stop for furniture dealers. Whenever I say Louis XVII, they say you mean the 16th, and I say no, I don't mean Louis XVI, I mean Louis XVII, and breaks off, and mops his brow. I am afraid I am talking a great deal, sir. Almady, oh, you've noticed that. Mel, the fact is, Mr. Almady, I am all of a twitter. PG 102. Almady, what have you got to be nervous about? Mel, I'm always like this on these big nights. You see, I'm responsible for everything, and it's terribly wearing on the nerves. During this long speech of Mel's, Almady becomes bored and walks away. Mel, suddenly aware that he is talking to the air, follows him. I'm stage manager, property man, and prompter. I turn the music, show the ladies to their seats, hand bouquets onto the stage, and I am expected always to applaud at the right moment. I assure you, I have often gone to bed after one of these entertainments with my hands so tender I could scarcely hold my toothbrush. Almady does not answer. You will pardon me for mentioning it, sir, but you don't seem quite your merry old self tonight. Almady, I am as cheerful as any man would be, whose brain had been addled from studying an infernal part all day. Mel, but I thought you said you had spent the day writing. Almady, yes, I always memorize a part by writing it out. Mel, what energy, what enthusiasm, have you a nice part. Almady, no rotten. PG 103. Mel, dear, you'll feel better when you hear the applause. We're great applauders, here we don't care how bad an actor is. Almady, offended, moves away. Thank you. Mel follows. I beg your pardon, I don't mean it like that. Goes to door of Alona's room, and knocks. Miss Shabo, please, beginners, please. Enter Alona in evening dress. Enter Adam Wright in dress clothes. Ilona, well, we seem to be all here. Olmedy bows. Mel, good evening. Miss Sharbo, good evening. Good evening. Ilona, well, we may as well begin. Olmedy, wouldn't it be as well to wait for Mr. Terai, bitterly seeing that he is being so kind as to give us his invaluable assistance. Ilona, he'll be here directly. Where is the prompter? Mel, present. Ilona hears the script, hands it to him. Mel goes to stage. I hope this extempore set meets with your approval, pointing to screen a little idea quite of my own. PG 104. Ilona, charming to Adam, sincerely, deeply concerned Albertiu simu simvri, quiet this evening. Mel, sits. Adam, oh no, not a bit, a little tired, that's all. We had rather a long motor drive, and I didn't get much sleep last night. Please don't think. Breaks off, as Mel shows signs of impatience. I'm afraid our friend, the secretary, is getting restive. Ilona, what on earth is the matter? Mel, I am all of a twitter. Ilona, well, do simmer down, to Adam, who has sat down. Surely you're not going to stay for this rehearsal? Adam, if you don't mind. Ilona, oh, I don't mind, but y'all be thoroughly bored. A silly little French piece. Y'all be seeing it after dinner. I should have thought once would have been enough. Adam, well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Terai asked me to stay and help out till he came, and I promised him I would. PG 105. Ilona, just as you please. Very nervous. Can't we begin? Are the props here? Mel, nothing is ever missing. When I am the property man there, they all Arian. The table, points to table. Mel picks up scarf and hat and helps Ilona. Ilona takes book and letter. Those are yours. Olmedy pockets the peach and the remaining letter. Now then, let's start. The Countess, that's me, discovered alone, seated in chair reading book, sits down to Olmedy. You're not on yet. Olmedy stalks off to the left. Mel, do we go on now? Ilona, don't ask so many questions. Yes, go on. She reads book. Mel, reading from the script. Curtain rises on a glorious garden period, Louis XV. Ilona, you don't have to read that. Mel, doubtfully, I always have. Ilona, you only have to give the actors the spoken lines. Mel, now I never knew that before. Now, that's very interesting. He looks stupidly at script. PG 106. Olmedy coming down. What on earth's the matter now? Ilona, I'm afraid Mr. Mel is not much of a prompter. Adam, taking script from Mel. It's all right, let me hold the book. Ilona, no. Olmedy simultaneously, no. Ilona, you mustn't. Adam, what do you mean? Ilona, I won't have it. Adam, why not? Mel to Adam, offended sarcastically. No doubt Miss Sharbo means that it is beneath the dignity of such an important person. Please give me the book. Adam, do stop fussing. Can't you see you make them nervous? Mel, make them nervous? What about my nervousness? Adam, I tell you, I'll hold the book, and you can do it for the performance. Does that satisfy you? Mel, deeply offended. Oh, quite, oh, perfectly. PG 107. Ilona to Adam, now, you've hurt the poor man's feelings. You've insulted him. Mel, madam, I am a secretary. I spend all my time receiving insults. Ilona, oh well, let's begin. To Olmedy, you're off again. Olmedy stalks to left. Countess discovered, seated in armchair reading book, takes up book. Olmedy is wearing the brown hat, gauntlets, and carrying the riding whip. Adam, prompting, what a silly. Ilona, speaking her lines, what a silly story. Closes book, just like all novels. Adam, what can I do? Ilona, yawning, what can I do to kill the time? The Count is always out riding. Paris seems very far away, amidst these sleepy fields of Normandy. Adam, hoofbeats heard off. Mel imitates hoofbeats by beating his thighs with his hands. Ilona, hark, I hear him coming. Can this be my husband? Surely he went off on his horse to visit our old tenant, honest Jacques Benoit. Mel makes the hoofbeats louder and louder. Olmedy comes into the scene dramatically, ominously, but his entrance is completely ruined by Mel continuing the hoofbeats. PG 108. Olmedy stamps his feet impatiently, and at last Mel stops. Olmedy, so madame. Ilona, why, what is the matter? Why do you frown, my dear Count? Olmedy, why do I frown? That madame you will learn, and speedily, as sure as my name is Count. He can't remember his name. Adam, prompting, Maurice du Verrier. Olmedy, as sure as my name is Count Maurice du Verrier de la Grande Contumace, Saint Emilion. Ilona, you fright me, Maurice. Almighty, it is your guilty conscience that frightens you, madame. Adam, traitress. Ilona starts and looks at him nervously. Adam rises. Traitress, no doubt you supposed me a credulous imbecile, whom it was simple to hoodwink. Enter Tirai and Mansky, both in evening dress from the right Ilona, and Almighty, confused by their guilt, for the moment believe that Adam is accusing them. Almighty very embarrassed, no doubt you I. PG 109. Adam still prompting, you thought that any story would do for me, you imagined that I was fool enough to swallow anything. Tirai coming down horrified, thinking that Adam is making a scene. What? Adam shhhh goes on prompting, no doubt you supposed me a credulous fool. Tirai relieved, he grasps the situation. Ooh, takes the script from him, let me have that script. Adam, why to Ilona errant, I prompting well. Ilona no. Almighty simultaneously no. Adam ruffled, nothing like being frank. Mel goes to Adam and pats his shoulder, don't take it to heart, even I wasn't good enough for them. Adam, perhaps y'all tell me where I went wrong. Tirai, don't ask so many questions, seats himself in Mel's place, ill take on this job. Mel to Adam, everybody is so rude. Tirai looking at script, all right from where you stopped. Almighty glibly, traitress, you have deceived me. PG 110. I have long had my suspicions, I have now in my possession the proofs, no doubt. You supposed me a credulous imbecile, whom it was simple to hoodwink. You thought that any story would do for me. You imagined that I was fool enough to swallow anything. Let me tell you, madame, that you are mistaken. For a long time, I have suspected that there was something behind all these rides of yours with our neighbour the Marquis Jean-Francois Gillette de la Tour d'Argent, day after day for hours at a time. You have made a practice of riding with him on the road from Duvernois-sur-Seine to Saint-Sulpice de la Grande, parmentiering slowly at that. Ilona, it's a lie. Who told you? Almighty, silence, woman, the proofs are in my pocket. Moan, dear, is there no gratitude in this world? When I married you, who were you? A nobody. Your father, Brigadier General Pierre Jean Berman de la Second, Chaumière Rambouillet, fell in battle at Grand Lagrère-sur-Marne, and you eked out a scanty living as a seamstress at your mother's home in the village of Saint Genevieve, in the department of Seine-et. Oy, so, madame, and then what happened? I gave you name, rank, and wealth, such as you had never dreamed of. You became Madame la Countess du Verrier de la Grande. PG 111, Contumace. Saint-Emilion, I bestowed upon you not only my estates in Pardubice and Grand Amenoir, but also my 2 castles in Challenges d'Ebecourt de la Romanie, and at Rivelu Coin de Musières, Sir Vanteroc's Alps Maritimes. He stops exhausted. Tirai, don't stop, what's wrong? Almighty takes off his hat and gloves, puts the whip down on the table, and stepping out of character comes down to Tirai. Almighty, it's these damned French names, they're a perfectly frightful. Tirai, I don't see what we can do about it. Almighty, you surely don't need them all. Tirai, they're in the script. Almighty, but I'll go mad trying to memorize them, titles with 6 hyphens in them, and names of places with a dozen ox, and de lars and sirs, and damn it, they're all in my part, choking with fury, it's deadly. At least let's leave out that second castle. Tirai coldly, my dear fellow, have you no sense of dramatic construction? If he had given her only 1 castle, the audience would think her perfectly justified in deceiving him. If he had given PG 112 her 3, they would look on him as a purse-proud fool who didn't deserve a faithful wife. No, 2 is exactly the right number. You can't beat Sardou. When it comes to technique, go on please. Almighty goes up hopelessly and replaces his hat and gloves and takes up the whip. Almighty, I made you a countess and a wealthy woman, and what return do I get? You betray Mays, madame, betray Muith, my best friend and nearest neighbour the Marquis Jean-Francois Gillette de la Tour d'Argent, Lord of Périgord des Champignons, and Saint-Sulpice de la Grande Parmentière. He breaks off and removes hat and gloves, as before. My God, it's enough to give a fellow apoplexy. Tirai, surprised, I beg your pardon, that doesn't seem to be in the script. Almighty down to Tirai, as before. I am sorry, I can't help it, it's these names. Tirai, well, I am always open to suggestions. What would you like to call the gentleman? Almighty, Fotch or Briandor, something short like that. Tirai sarcastically, perhaps we she get on please. Almighty goes upstage more hopeless than before. PG 113. Ilona nervously, oh do let's get on, count, you have said enough. Tirai, so he seems to think. Ilona, I will not endure these shameful accusations. You are insulting the woman who bears your name. Almady again taking off hat and gloves, and puts down the whip. It's a damned shame. Tirai, what is? Almady, I always have to say the whole infernal thing from beginning to end, and she just says your name. Tirai coldly, we're wasting time. Almady, another word, madame, and I produce the proof. Ilona laughing, the proof, one is amused, one smiles. Almady takes stage, and turns a smile which I will make to die upon your lips. Behold the proof. He fuddles in his coat-tail pocket, from which he belatedly takes the peach with a sinister flourish. Ilona with insincere terror, ah gracious heaven, the peach sits. PG 114. Almady lays peach on table. Yes, madame, the peach, the first peach that ripened on the lovingly cherished early-blooming, richly bearing East Indian dwarf peach trees, in my orchard, at Cimarinax de la Palme d'Api, making a triumphant entry into the world days ahead of any other peach in the whole of France. He turns and glares at Tirai. Resentfully Tirai pays no attention, so he resumes his part. You know what a passionate fruit grower I am. You know that I have tended this peach from its first budding, cared for it, watched over it, wrapped it about with my love, kept a diary about it, and awaited its ripening like the coming of a Messiah. And what happens this afternoon? I go out riding. I am proceeding at a gentle jog-trot. Mel imitates hoofbeats as before. Almady is incensed by his stupidity. Mel subsides abashed, and Almady resumes. I am proceeding at a gentle jog-trot from Duvernois-sur-Seine to Saint-Sulpice de la Grande Parmentière. He breaks off with an anguished look at Tirai. Tirai coldly, along the high road. Almady, along the high road, and whom should I see there tripping along but Juliet, our maid. I speak to her. She betrays embarrassment at seeing me. She stammers and ties her apron strings. PG 115. In a knot I ask her where she is going, terrified. She bursts into tears and whispers, my lady sent me to the Marquis Jean-Francois. Gillette de la Tour d'Argent, curse him. Tirai, right this time, that was in the script. Almady, why, I ask the girl, did your mistress send you to the Marquis? And then suddenly happening to look closer, I see that she is trying desperately to hide a little parcel from me. I take it from her, I open it, and what do I see? Points to peach, that peach, the king of peaches, the apple of my eye pride. And joy, my firstborn, the supreme peach from the orchards of Cimarinax de la Palme d'Api, last word in stoneless fruit, which I have been guarding since birth like a baby sister. And as if this were not enough, wrapped round that glorious specimen of its kind, I discover a letter. He fuddles in his inside coat pocket, draws out a letter, sees it is the wrong one, replaces it hastily, and draws forth the proper one. This letter, he reads, my beloved, this is the first peach that has ripened in France this year. I send it to you, eat it reverently. He holds the letter under her nose there. Ilona, are you trying to make me smell it? Almady, I am, for even if you were shameless. PG 116. Enough to deny your writing, you cannot deny your perfume. Or are you proposing to deny it? Ilona, no. Almady, ha, then you admit it. Ilona, yes. Almady, you sent him this peach. Ilona, yes. Almady again takes off his hat and gloves to Tirai. It's simply rank injustice. I've got to say yard-long speeches at the top of my voice, and all her part consists of his little exclamations like oh no and yes. Tirai, yes, I noticed that myself. These short crisp speeches are characteristic of Sardis women. It can't be helped. Go on, please. Almady goes back, puts on hat and gloves, more miserable than ever. So you accept from me everything, glove, name, rank, riches, estates to Castlesand. Then you go about the place sending my most cherished fruit to your lover. Ilona rises tragically. No. Almady, you have the effrontery to pretend that the Marquis is not your lover. Ilona, yes. PG 117. Almady, you mean he is? Ilona, no. Almady, you mean he is not? Ilona triumphantly, yes. Almady with a theatrical laugh, a likely story, madame. I am a fruit grower, the leading amateur horticulturist in France and president of the Paris Peach Club. I know, I say. I know that one does not give fruit like this save where one has first given the heart. Madame, I despise you. Ilona, you consider conduct like mine despicable. Almady, I do. Ilona, good then, I have one little question to ask you. In the early spring of this year, there ripened in your orchard the first crop of white-heart cherries. To whom did you send those cherries? Almady turns away embarrassed. To my mother, the Dowager Countess du Verrier de la Grande Contumace, Saint Emilion. Ilona, indeed, to your mother. Then permit me to show you something. You are not the only one who has discovered an interesting letter takes letter from table smell. That do you recognize the perfume holds it under his nose? PG 118. Mel to Adam, what a situation. Sardu at his best, there's no one like him. Alona, the perfume is that of Mademoiselle Emily and première danseuse at the Follies Bergers, whom you honor with your friendship and protection. Almighty, how did you get this? Alona, never mind, always remember letters are like sped arrows, you never can tell where they are going to drop. Mel applauds vigorously to Adam an epigram. Ilona, read it please. Almighty, reading my dearest this morning, that doddering old idiot of account of mine. Ilona, you notice how your divinity writes of you go on. Almighty, reading that doddering old idiot of account of mine, sent me a basket of cherries. Did I tell you he was a famous fruit grower? He says these are the first cherries that have ripened in France this year. And he sends them to me as a token of his love. Drop in this evening, darling. And well, eat the old fool's cherries together. Your PG 119 loving Emily and PS ring twice, as usual. He sobs. Alona, you see what you do to me. I do to you an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a peach for a cherry. Almighty, brokenly, yes, it's true. Alona, and now leave my garden this very afternoon. I pack my boxes and go back to my mother. And if you will question my maid, you will find that I told her to hang about till you came, bito, blush and stammer, and finally to give you the letter. And the peach, she breaks into stage laughter. Ha ha ha, oh ha 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 ha. Almighty, well, I must face it, I've lost. Ilona, you've lost me. Almighty, kneeling, Yvonne, don't say that. See, I beg your forgiveness on my knees. Overlook this one false step. Ilona, the idea, a count, and an elderly count groveling like that. Almighty gets up and turns away. All the same, you have touched me, so I will forgive you, but you are not to get off without punishment. Firstly, I forbid you to eat this peach. Almighty, my God, not that. PG 120. Ilona, firmly, yes. Almighty, so be it. Ilona, secondly, you will permit me to go to Paris alone. Almighty, despairingly, Yvonne. Ilona, not a word, either you trust me, or you do not. If you do, I will return. If not, not. Almighty, oh heavens, and how long do you expect to stay in Paris? Ilona, a week. Short pause. Almighty, suddenly bursting out, no, I can't live without you. I worship you, I adore you, I love you, as the church steeple loves the cloud that settles on its summit, only to be wafted away by the first passing breeze. I can't live without you, not a week, not a day, not an hour. Ilona, just words. At the word church, steeple, Mansky and Adam have exchanged a glance of utter astonishment. Mansky rises, but just one moment, what was that you said? Ilona, I beg your pardons. Tirai, now listen please, we can't have these interruptions. PG 121, don't pull them up the moment they've got nicely into the swing of it. Mel, I can't wait to see how it all ends. To Adam, will she leave him, or will the memory of their past love prove too strong? Mansky goes to Adam, aside to Adam, this is devilish queer. Tirai, quiet please. To Almighty, all right, go on better, go back to not a week, not a day, not an hour. Almighty, not a week, not a day, not an hour. Ilona, just words. Almighty, it's the truth, I am crazy about you, and now you have used me up, and squeezed me like a lemon, and now you want to throw me away at the word lemon. Mansky and Adam again exchange glances. Mansky gets up, deeply agitated. Mansky, Sandor. Tirai, what is it? Mansky to Ilona and Almighty, Yowl, excuse me, I have something very urgent to say to Mr. Tirai. He crosses to Tirai and drags him over to the corner below the fireplace. Do you hear what they're saying? PG 122. Tirai, feigning non-comprehension. How do you mean, do I hear what they're saying? Mansky, I mean, didn't those last lines sound familiar to you? Tirai, that's right, now you mention it, I did notice something, only I thought it was my fancy. Mansky to Adam, come here. Mel tries to become a part of the whispered conference, but Adam waves him away, and he withdraws upstage disconsolate. To Tirai, I give you my word, Sandor, those lines were syllable for syllable the ones we heard last night through the wall. Tirai, looking at script, by Jove, you're right, this is uncanny. Mansky, go on with the rehearsal, or they will be suspecting something. I want to hear some more. Mansky takes hold of Adam's arm. Adam is very excited, both listen intently. Tirai, well, let's get on now, you want to throw me away. Ilona, I don't want to throw you away, silly. Oh, come on then, come here, and let me kiss that beautiful classic brow. Almody goes to her. Mansky shouting out, great heavens. PG 123. Ilona jumping, what's the matter? Mansky whispering, listen you two, they're saying word for word what we heard them say last night. Do you grasp now what they were doing last night? Rehearsing, simply going through their lines. To Mansky, I must admit this has come upon me as a complete surprise. Really, I'm quite shaken. Adam, imitate me if I can be perfectly calm. You can. Mansky pointing at Turai, and he never recognized it. Ilona, Mr. Turai, what's going on? Almody, yes, what's all the discussion about? Turai to Almody, well, it's like this, Mansky says, and I'm bound to say I agree with him that, for the actual performance, tonight you will have to dig up a classic brow from somewhere. Almody, dig up a classic brow. Turai, you see, it's rather awkward. The script says kiss that beautiful classic brow. Almody, well. PG 124. Turai, well, you'll have to get one somewhere. Almody bitterly, you think my own would not be convincing? Mansky, my God, no. Almody, it has been so described. Turai, in this play, yes, but if you'll pardon my saying so, you wouldn't suggest that any woman of taste could say such a thing in real life. Almody bitterly, very good, no doubt, the property man will be able to supply me with a face. Mel is appalled at the prospect of having to get a face, but he dutifully makes a notation of it in his little book. Turai, oh me dear fellow, all go back to places. Adam impatiently, we're wasting time, let's get on. Turai, sh, we've only a few minutes more. Adam, no more interruptions. Mel, thank God. Ilona, where were we? Oh yes, come here, and let me kiss that beautiful classic brow. Kisses him on forehead. Almody, that's not a kiss, that's a tip. PG 125. Mansky, surely that line is a trifle vulgar. Turai, it's vulgar because it's spoken by a vulgar man. Mansky, the speaker is a count. Turai, but a dull-witted bounder for all that he's the sort of man who would say things like that. Don't you start trying to teach Sardu how to write dialogue. Almody furious, for God's sake, are we going to rehearse? Turai, yes, go on please. Almody, that's not a kiss, that's a tip. Ilona, don't shout like that. Almody, I will shout, I'm a squeezed lemon. That's what I am, a lemon. The whole world shall know I'm a lemon. Falls sobbing at her feet. Mansky whispers something to Adam. Adam smiles happily and whispers back. They shake hands. Turai, please, what's the matter? Mansky, nothing, I was merely saying to Adam that I think that word lemon is all wrong. Turai, I think it's excellent, absolutely in character. PG 126. The speaker is a big lemonan peach man from Saint Sulpice de la Grande Parmentière, and he naturally goes to the orchard for his similes. Try to realize that he's practically an imbecile, with virtually no vocabulary. Almody looks up from Ilona's lap and registers indignation. Prompting, please to Ilona, from you, my dear, to Almody. You're crying. Almody sobs. Ilona, please don't cry, I can't bear it, you know how fond I am of you. She goes to table where Peach is. Almody, those nights of love, those flaming wonderful nights, have you forgotten them so completely? He stands up and starts to touch the peach. Ilona, stop, control yourself. Almody gazing at Peach, you ask me to control myself when I look at that perfect shape. The rose flush of that skin starts to touch Peach just to stroke it. Ilona, hands off. Almody snatching up the peach holds it in one hand, and with the other strokes it voluptuously. PG 127. My God, how round it is, how smooth, how velvety and how fragrant. Raises it to his mouth. Ilona, you mustn't bite it. She snatches his hand. Mansky gives a shriek and goes into fits of laughter. Adam stretches his arms out to Mansky and roars. Adam slaps Mansky on the back. Mansky, laughing uninterruptedly. Almody turns away furiously. Ilona turns away ashamed. Mansky putting his arm around Adam's shoulder, still laughing. Heavens, what fools we've been. Adam, haven't we? Mel eagerly, want you tell me the joke? Adam, you wouldn't understand. Ilona, what are you two so amused about? Turai curtly, come, we're wasting time, let's get on. Mansky, yes, get on, I want to hear this round, smooth, velvety and fragrant. Adam, and you mustn't bite. Ilona, you mustn't bite it. Almighty I am so hungry. PG 128. Adam and Mansky go on laughing. Mel laughs too, but with a puzzled look, as much as to say I'm joining in, but I really don't understand. Almighty sits. Well, I see I am nothing to you any more. Ilona, oh, for goodness sake, I swear that no man breaks off unable to go on. Tiarai prompting, no man who has ever come into my life. Ilona has meant so much to me as you, from the top of your head to the soles of your feet, you are a man. Tiarai, I think we might cut that last bit. Almighty, why? Tiarai, well, I mean to say a little too explicit, don't you think? Rather too obvious a sexual implication. A wee bit coarse perhaps, yes. We must consider the feelings of the audience. To Mel, will there be any young girls there tonight? Mel, oh yes indeed. Tiarai, then, we must cut it. They may bring their parents instead. Suppose we say I love you even though you are only a poor imitation of a PG 129 man. Almighty registers, rage. Go on to Almighty, my God, I suffer. Almighty bitterly, my God, I suffer like a sick horse. To Tiarai, look here, that ought to come out. Tiarai, why? Almighty, how could anyone speak of himself so vulgarly? Tiarai, we went into all that just now, just what a cattle raiser would say. Almighty, but he's a fruit raiser. Tiarai, cattle too, cattle as a sideline. Ilona, don't look so pathetic. Well, come here, kiss me, you donkey. Almighty furiously to Tiarai, it's too much horse and donkey. Adam aside to Mansky, this is where I went out. How funny it seems now. Tiarai looks at script, we're getting near the end, now they kiss here. Almighty starts to kiss Ilona. Ilona pushing him away, oh never mind the kiss over. PG 130. Almighty offended, just as you please, I want you to remember that kiss forever. Ilona, your kiss is revolting to me. Almighty despairingly to Tiarai, does that stay in? Tiarai, my dear fellow, we can't cut everything. Almighty, but a line like that so damned personal, the audience will loathe me. Mansky, it beats me why on earth you ever chose a part like this. Almighty looks toward Tiarai in mute appeal, but Tiarai is adamant and meets out no mercy. Tiarai with subtle mockery, yes, it's no business of mine, but I must say I can't understand that either. It doesn't help to cut lines here, and there, it's the whole part. The character's a bounder and a fool. Mansky, the author, must have loathed this fellow. To Tiarai, you notice that Sandor, don't you? Tiarai ironically, of course I noticed it. Ilona, do let's get to the end. Rises Mademoiselle Emilienne, describes you as an old fool. Almighty glares. PG 131. Tiarai prompting, and so I am. Almighty, and so I am. Ivan furious, so I am. Mansky, you certainly are. Ilona sincerely, it's disgusting that a man of your age should persecute a woman, and by playing on her sense of gratitude seek to obtain a love which she would never bestow as a free gift. Adam crossing down to Tiarai, and whispering, Uncle Sandor, will you give me your word of honor that Ilona shall never know how shamefully I suspected her? Tiarai, don't be childish. Adam, if ever she found out, shed never look at me again. Tiarai, I'll never tell her. Ilona, please don't interrupt any more. Adam bows elaborately and says with meaning, forgive me. Ilona accepts his apology with an affectionate gesture, and when his back is turned, it is she who is mutely asking his forgiveness. Tiarai, go on. Ilona, think of your wife, think of your children. Almighty turns away, my children. PG 132. Ilona, what would your son say? Your son, a highly respected colonel in the dragoons. This is too much. The actor in Almighty is crushed. He comes down to Tiarai brokenly and speaks supplicatingly. Almighty, Mr. Tiarai. Tiarai, amiably, yes. Almighty, it's just a suggestion, but couldn't we say lieutenant there? Tiarai, I'm afraid not. You see, it was general in the text. Almighty wildly, my son, a general. Ilona to Tiarai, how far back can I go? Tiarai, at the most a major. Ilona quickly, very well, your son, a highly respected major in the dragoons. Almighty, you are right, Ivan the shark would kill him. Almighty breaks off, evidently unwilling to speak his next line, but Tiarai prompts him relentlessly. Tiarai, a ridiculous old petticoat chaser. Almighty speaking the lines almost sotto voce in PG 133, a casual offhand manner, a ridiculous old petticoat chaser, that's what I am, bar. Tirai, oh come Mr. Olmedy, not so tamely, please more life once more. Olmedy comes down to Tirai and says the line with petulance and irritation, a ridiculous old petticoat chaser, that's what I am bar. Tirai relentlessly, still not quite strong enough, more gusto, more sincerity. Olmedy shouts the line to relieve his fury, a ridiculous old petticoat chaser, that's what I am bar. Tirai coldly, once more please. Olmedy shouting to the full limit of his vocal cords in wild desperation, a ridiculous old petticoat chaser, that's what I am bar. Tirai with approval, fine, that's it, now read it that way at the performance. Olmedy returns upstage completely crushed and beaten. Olmedy, genuinely, I promise you I shall never again make myself obnoxious to this woman who loves another man, and is sick and tired of me, never, never again. PG 134. Ilona briskly, never again. Olmedy briskly, never again. Ilona then, Morris, I will be generous, I will not go to Paris, and you may eat the peach. Olmedy hurls himself at the peach, my God, at last gnaws the peach. Tirai rising curtain. Mansky the end. Tirai the end. Mansky, he really should have given his wife the peach, that would have made a much prettier finish. Tirai, oh my dear fellow, where's your sense of character? The man's selfish to the core, he'd never give his wife peaches. Mansky, a very unsympathetic part, still, he played it well. Tirai, it fitted him. Mel dancing about in anguish, pointing to Olmedy, incoherent with agitation, oh. Tirai, what's the matter with you? Mel, he's eating the peach, he's eating the peach, I never dreamed he was going to eat the peach. Ipk 135 shall have to dash out and get another, he rushes off to the hall. Ilona takes off scarf to Adam, who stands overcome with happiness. Well, how do you like me in this part? Adam, oh darling, you were wonderful, simply wonderful, and if you want to know what I think, thy's little comedy is worth all Shakespeare put together. He kisses her hands. Mansky, oh no, the thing dates terribly, when did Sardou write it? Tirai, I don't know what period Sardou is this, Mr. Olmedy. Olmedy, I should imagine it was his last work. Mansky, then he must have been a very old man at the time, it's terrible, he probably wrote it just before he died. Tirai, or just after. To Ilona, can I have a minute? Just a few things I'd like to tell you about your part. Ilona, yes, I shall be very grateful. To Mansky and Adam, go along, we shan't be a moment, they go up the stairs at right. PG 136. Mansky, what beats me is why an actor who has always played heroes picked a part like that for himself. He must be terribly fond of acting. Mansky and Adam, go out at right. Tirai to Olmedy, who is sitting dejectedly at left, you seem upset. Olmedy, miserably, not at all. He glares at Tirai. Tirai, so you've decided to take the midnight express directly after the performance? Olmedy, yes. Tirai, I think you're a wise, a good fruity train, highly spoken of by connoisseurs. Well, just to show you the sort of fellows we Tirais are, ill let you off the Major. Ilona, you can say lieutenant. Olmedy, even lieutenant seems a little. Tirai, good God, we can't make him a drummer boy. Olmedy picks up part very well, so be it. I suppose I ought to be thankful for small mercies. Goes toward door to hall. Tirai, where are you off to? PG 137. Olmedy, I am going to have another go at those infernal French names, but in spite of everything, thank you. Olmedy bows and then goes out. Ilona, going to Tirai and embracing him. Sandor, you're an angel. Was it awfully difficult writing that play? Tirai, oh no, that damned peach stumped me for a while. Smooth, round, velvety and fragrant, and you mustn't bite. It wasn't easy to get round that, believe me. There are very few things in this world that are round, smooth, velvety and respectable. Ilona turns head away. Oh, was talking about my shoulder. Tirai with delicate irony and gazing at her shoulder, then kissing it. Really, I thought it was your forehead. Ilona, you're an old devil, that's what you are. Tirai, just what I expected. Now that it's all over, everybody else is a gentleman, and I am an old devil, but somehow I don't think I am. My little Ilona, I have saved a young man a bad heartache. It's a negative kindness, but is there a positive one? That's better. Yes, on the whole, I think I'm fairly well satisfied with myself. And there's PG 138, a little old woman looking at me from somewhere, probably from Helen. Her eyes seemed to be twinkling, as if she was satisfied too. It's unfortunate that you won't have me always on hand to re-enter Mansky and Adam. Mansky on the landing to Adam, poor old Tirais, feeling awfully sore about all this. He had a wonderful scheme for bringing you two together, based on what he calls psychology, and now he's furious, because that won't be needed. Enter Dwornicek from Hall. Adam sh Alona will hear you. Let's drop the subject. Dwornicek standing at center. Dinner is served. Adam meets Ilona at center. They embrace and kiss lovingly, and go out to the hall arm in arm. Mansky with self-satisfaction to Tirai. So my friend, it comes down to this. There are many clever writers, but the most successful of them all is still Old Man Life himself. Tirai, that's because he doesn't have to collaborate with you. He takes Mansky's arm as he passes Dwornicek. He stops and looks at him. Dwornicek smiling. Dwornicek, sir. Tirai still. Dwornicek, thank you. PG 139. Dwornicek, thank you, sir. Tirai, no, my dear Dwornicek, thank you. Tirai and Mansky go out. The curtain falls.